Yes. Yes. Oh, Cats fans, welcome to Post Game Live. Brought to you by Cyril Cook Florists. After the Cats demolished the Port Adelaide Power by 84 points at their home ground, interstate. And we're into another preliminary final. Woo! Oh, I'm up and about. All right, let's not muck around. Let's get Johnny in nice and early. Let's hear what he's got to say about this one. Hello.
Thank you, Ken Hinkley, long-time Geelong Cats fan, more so than anyone, I feel.
Oh, how
and
good.
Also, the other thing, you know what I really want to shout out before we get started? I really want to shout out the fans who got on the bus, who got on the plane, who made their way over into enemy territory in the poor weather, full well knowing that it could have been the worst shellacking in a long time. I feel like those are in part also part of the heroes of this night.
All shapes and sizes.
Yes.
For those on the bus, hopefully there's a few people with their phones out, probably making their way to the bus now. I think it was due to leave about 30 or 40 minutes after the game.
Yeah. Leave a comment, please. Join the chat.
Let us know.
I want to know what the environment was like there. That's one thing. We can sit here watching on the screen and talking about it live, but imagine being there.
Imagine being on that bus right now. That hot and sweaty bus on the way. How many times are they going to replay the game on KO on the way home tonight?
They'll be playing it for years. At least for Port Adelaide, they can now put the 2007 grand final to rest, and that'll be the new one that plays over the top, I feel.
Yeah, the new number is 84. Hashtag 84.
Yeah.
What happened? How did that happen?
He was my note before the game. Here's my note.
Okay.
My one. I just want us to be competitive. My expectations going into this game was that it's going to be really challenging. It's going to be tough. The half an hour before the game kicked off, Tom Stewart news and the illness was not great. Mullen was coming in. It didn't really change too much for me. I did sort of think it might have been a little bit of a red herring, but for the performance that we showcased tonight was everything. How were you feeling first quarter, second quarter, and then second half?
I'll take you back even further.
Yeah,
I walked in the door and I was trying to put on a bit of positivity, but I was devastated because I just left work. I just left the office. I was chatting to Paul and Jake from the Hoops crew, and they were telling me, "Oh, there's a rumor going around that Stewart's not playing," and I'm like, "Don't listen to that bloody rumors. Don't buy it. Every final they do it." And then sure enough, Mitch Cleary drops the bomb, and then anyway. But yeah, no, that first quarter, I was very nervous. I was very happy to get out to get the first two goals, I think, from memory. Stengel and Jeremy Cameron may have kicked a goal from at some point in that quarter. I can't really remember the goal that well.
Stengel kicked the first soccer off the ground. We were doing a few forward inside 50s really well. Jezza got the second. They got one back with Ryan Burton, and then Sean Manor kicked a goal after missing that behind from a set shot. Speaking of set shots.
I was being a little bit of a smart ass when I said I think Jezza may have kicked a goal. I think Jezza may have kicked goal of the year if they allowed. That was incredible. Oh my goodness me! One of the greatest.
That was illegal.
That was probably up there with the Gary Ablett Jr. come off the moment, come off the man sort of goal against Collingwood in that prelim. Oh man, I got up and about at that moment. But yeah, the first quarter. I was saying to my partner, this is going well. We're not too far ahead because I get a little bit nervous when the Cats, maybe get 4 or 5 goals ahead early. I'm like, this is only going to go one way after that. But no, they sort of, Port got a goal back, Geelong got a goal back. All that. It was sort of, okay, we're in front, but we're just doing enough. And then the second quarter, I'm like, okay, Port's clearly bringing their game. You can sort of see the Port game starting to click in a little bit. And I thought, okay, all right, we've got a game now. That's fine. We're not out of it. We're still playing well. We're still doing all those we're doing all those KPIs that you like to see. The Geelong way was still evident. But then, after they hit the front, it was like 5 goals in a row after that. It was incredible.
Right.
Incredible.
Yeah. From the first quarter, so we at quarter time, we were up by 2 points. And I was feeling great. I was like, we were competitive. That's all I wanted. We'd done our best. There's been so many games this year where Geelong has come out really slow, really sluggish. I think back to that Richmond game in something like round 10, where they came down to Kardinia Park and they were up 5 goals and we kicked probably 1 behind in the first quarter. And it's happened. It's been such a theme. And then finally, we put it all together. Oh, here we go. Hello.
What's up, everyone? I did not mean to just jump straight into that call.
Well, you're on.
How do I kick him out?
Just kick me out.
I'm trying. Here we go. All right. Paul's very eager. He'll come on shortly. Hopefully he'll get home safely from wherever he's been tonight. Unfortunately, he made other plans weeks or months ago for a Thursday night, not thinking there'd be a game of footy on, but I'll have to have a word to Paul about that and let him know that, the first week of the finals, there's often a Thursday night game. So it's like getting married in September. You don't get married in September if you love your footy. Anyway.
Really? Okay.
So, that third quarter, though, talk to me about that. It was looking a bit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, halftime I said to my partner, I'm so nervous. I'm more nervous at the start of the second half than I was at the start of the game because so many times we come out at halftime absolutely flat, but that's not what happened. That is not what happened in the quarter.
It was very uncharacteristic of the Cats, the game tonight. And the quarter that we've always won this year is the fourth quarter. That's where I've always felt like outside of that Saints game a couple of weeks ago and outside of the Swans game when we went to the SCG and we were up by 5 goals and then they came back and won, we have usually been pretty sluggish out of the gates. You're right, out of halftime, pretty sluggish again, but then we usually storm home.
Yep.
So when we came out in the third quarter, Jack Bowes with the kick through the goals was excellent. Sean Manor followed it up. Tanner Bruin followed it up. I was hoping he'd have a good game. Shannon Neal had a great game as well. And we're on fire. I mean, Port Adelaide did not kick a single goal. They kicked 2 behinds in the third quarter. They kicked 1 goal 3 in the final quarter to really it was a thrashing. I mean, I know we got 16 behinds, 18 in the end, but 20 goals, 18 behinds for 138. That is one of the more remarkable scorelines that we've put up in a long time since I can remember, probably since the grand finals from 2022.
Yeah, it was. What is it about Geelong and grand finals? In finals. The last 3 finals we've been in, the prelim against Brisbane, the grand final against Sydney, and now the qualifying final. Where have we been for the last 12 months?
I think this is a new formula. I think it's something similar that the Dogs have followed and the Hawks have followed this year, where it's sort of like you can come out in the start of the season slow if you want. It's up to you. We have the last couple of years have been okay. The first quarter or first third of the season through the middle is always our down patch. We always play really poorly through the middle of the season, and then we come storming home because the key to the finals is play healthy. If you're healthy, you're such a good shot at playing finals. So you can see Stewart didn't play tonight, but Hawkins also seemed like an intentional not playing tonight. And I think that this is where we come alive. Correct me if I'm wrong. It kind of seemed to me like we haven't been showing our cards, or Chris Scott was intentionally not showing our cards this season or towards the end of the season. And then the game plan we had tonight was so different from any other game we've played in recent memory.
It was, it was still the Geelong that you loved. We were doing the things, and the forwards, the small forward brigade was operating lovely.
Yeah.
Shout out Sean Matter, a couple of the other forwards, Tyson Stengel as well. Shout out Tice. But it's those 1%ers. To me, I was thinking about the game in its totality, and I just thought it's 1%ers. It's discipline. The amount of times I thought, we're going to give away a high free kick here. We didn't. We tackled. We stuck tackles. We kept our feet. We just all the things. Yep. And this is, you watch AFL footy, and it's different to regular season footy. Players will make mistakes. It's probably not going to cost you as much. In a final, every mistake is so costly. But I was just watching intently every little moment, every little little micro thing that happened tonight. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we're on point. We're absolutely on point. And it wasn't a perfect game, but there were still mistakes that were made. But goodness me, for every one mistake, I think we did about 19 things well. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, all things considered. One of my first of many tweets eventually that it would be the case was one thing I thought we did really well was first quarter, we locked it in. Our forward 50 pressure and our ability to lock the ball inside that sort of like 60 to 70 meter arc was really, really on point in the first quarter. That we have not seen all season. We know that Geelong has probably been one of the worst center clearance teams in the league all season long. And then that's been okay because we've been able to rebound from our defensive 50 really well and use the wings. But that wasn't even a factor tonight. Like, can you even think of one time where Port got the center clearance, sent it inside forward 50, and then we rebounded? It didn't really happen too often.
No.
All of our pressure was in the forward 50, I felt like Sean Manor played a really good game for the forward 50s. I thought Brian Myers was okay to an extent, but the way that we were hunting and tackling the ball, I thought was really good. So it was an uncharacteristic game. We were, and that's the other thing is, I mean, Port Adelaide's probably got one of the best midfield groups in the league, right? Between Rosie Butters, who got injured early in the game, and the third one, so it's Horn Francis, and then Rosie. So Rosie Butters, who am I missing? I'm missing one.
Rosie Butters, Horn Francis.
I didn't see much of Willem Drew out there.
We kept what's his name?
Ollie Wine. That's what I'm thinking.
Ollie Wine's the other one. He's
Ollie
sort
Wine.
of trailed off a little bit, but he's still good.
Yeah, but they're a star midfield group, and I felt like we were all over them tonight.
Yeah, we kept Rioli quiet. Last time he killed us.
Yeah. And on my show earlier in the week, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying Rioli, it can be the difference. And I think they were saying this on First Crack as well. When Rioli's in the Port Adelaide lineup, there was something like 10-2. And when he was out of the lineup, they were like 2-4 or 5 or something like that. So he was a massive impact player. And that showed early on because he did kick an early goal to sort of swing the momentum a little bit. But we shut him down. And we capitalized off that momentum.
I loved it in the last quarter. It's a little bit silly, but Chris Scott was getting up and down multiple times. I was joking on Twitter that he's gone. Someone should give him a salad roll for those that watched a bit of Geelong Cats back in the day.
Yeah.
And Bob Thompson. We're 100 plus points up against West Coast.
Yeah.
It looked like he went to the toilet at one point. He probably made a couple of phone calls to some friends and family living in Perth or wherever. I don't know. WA. It was good. And I don't want to forget to say this. And we talked about the Jezza goal, but the highlight of the whole night for me was Brian Myers' reaction to the Jezza goal. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, channeling energy of all of us. It was all of us.
What? When a player at the elite level is reacting like that, you know you've seen something special. I don't think we'll see a better goal this year. That will go down as probably the best goal of the year. I know it's fresh. I'm up and about, but I've got to say, I reckon in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, I'll still say that's the best goal of the year, considering the moment and everything else.
I think it was one of the best goals of recent years.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Because you got to imagine he was under pressure on the boundary line from the 30 to 35, maybe 40 meter arc.
Yep.
In one swift motion, mid-air, kicks the ball, falls to the ground. He's facing the crowd, by the way, and it just sails through. It swings and swings, and it's like, obviously, that's just a dumb shot. Why would you ever kick that in a million years? And then, oh, no, of course you would, because you're Jeremy Cameron.
He just does Jezza things, and he kind of got a couple late on the board as well in the fourth quarter there. Another one that he just grabbed in his big mitt as he was roving a spill, and then just threw it on his right foot and curled it in. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, 4 goals, 3 in the end. Tyson Stengel, 4 goals, 1. Myers, 3 goals. Manor, 3 goals. Shannon Neal, 2 goals. Jack Bowes, 2 goals. What a performance from the forward line.
What I like the most from this night is that third quarter, though. The fact that we followed up the second quarter where we kicked 6 goals We didn't go.
Yeah.
We didn't ease up. We kicked another 5, but more importantly, we didn't let Port Adelaide kick a goal. And that, for me, it was like, okay, all right. That is exactly what I wanted to see this football club do after halftime. I mean, clearly we want Geelong to win, and clearly we want to play well and be perfect. Football, a perfect football club. But if I had one wish, it was to come out after halftime and continue to apply that pressure. Mate, there's like 23 players I want to give a shout out to tonight. And I'm sure we will over the course of this show. But is there a couple that you want to, just while we've got you, because we have got a full board on tonight, is there a couple of names you want to sort of throw around just to get the conversation started on a few players?
But I think to what you were saying just before, like, I think you're right. Like, we have come out of the gate so sluggish in recent memories. It was sort of like, who is this? It was like, it's like in recent games that we've played where we've played well in the first half, the other team has been able to see what we've done, make adjustments, and then shut us down. And for whatever reason, our game plan was very tailored around this. And we came out very competitive in the first half. And then in the second half, it was like a new strategy. It was like in the second half, second quarter was really sluggish, right? Like, it was very back and forth, was very between the 50s, not a lot of scoring. And then the game really opened up, and we didn't allow Port Adelaide at the start of the third quarter to make the adjustments that they wanted to play, because they would have wanted to be more competitive and play on their terms before the game got out of hand. And we just completely shut it down. And that's what I was saying before, where we played so well through the midfield, something that's been lacking in recent memories. But it's good momentum to take that through the finals. What I did want to touch on, Mark's inside 50 stat for the teams. So Port Adelaide 7, Geelong 22 marks inside 50. We dominated them in that area. Goals, and this is you got to remember, this is off the back of not being able to convert on set shots for the marks inside 50, and then 7 goals to 20 goals in the end. So we were getting a lot of ground ball plays. I think we must have just matched well on their defense. I thought, like, Aaliyah was kind of a non-factor. Radagalia was a massive non-factor. He was unable to make a competitive touch. Was it Zach Thatcher out there was just struggling? I think that their defense really, really struggled. And I think we got lucky, right? No Dan Houston, no Kane Farrell, who's like Dan Houston's replacement. And they struggled in the half-back line, and it showed.
Yeah, it's they're not going to get them back either, unfortunately. No. And if the the early reports about Zach Butters, I'm hearing ribs. I don't know if that's confirmed by the club, but that's probably not. Well, I mean, Luke Hodge played a grand final with broken ribs, and we barely touched him. So, but yeah, hopefully Butters comes back. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I love the way he goes about it. He's a real footy player. I want to see him go well. I still think Port could give it a shake in a semi-final, but I think you almost have to write them off at this point. Sorry, some Port fans that might be watching this one, but I mean, history would probably tell you, and I don't have the stats to back it up, John, but is there a team that loses by 84 points and goes on and wins a grand final? In a final?
Regular absolute momentum killer. Yeah. Absolute momentum killer for them.
Oh, could just if she was on the other foot, if that was us and that was at our home deck, and we sat through that a few years ago against Freo, that it just breaks your heart because your season was so set up. I mean, if you lost by 10 points, you live with that. It hurts. It hurts a lot. But this just absolutely tears the soul out of that football club. They better respond next week. I'm telling you, Port fans won't be happy about this.
Well, they're going to have to play one of the Hawks and the Dogs, and those are the two most informed teams at the moment. So how are they going to do that? Last two things that I'll say. So players that I loved watching, Max Holmes, I thought played a fantastic game. His ability to move the ball just by foot. Didn't have to do too much of the handballing off or the kicking off to other people. It was just all ball movement by foot.
Yep.
But he did have 668 meters gained, which was the most in the match.
About to look up that stat.
For a long, he was the most by a mile, as usual. I thought Sean Manor, outside of that set shot miss in the first quarter, he played a really, really good game up forward. His forward 50 pressure was fantastic, I thought. Zach Guthrie's defensive 50 pressure was excellent as well. I thought Tanner Bruin played really well through the middle, and Tanner Bruin and Mitch Duncan together, they made a really nice pairing. They worked together really well.
I
Thought Shannon Neal was really good.
okay. He was probably the one for me that wasn't strong. I don't think he set the world on fire tonight, but he wasn't terrible
Shannon
either.
Neal.
Yeah, I don't think he was terrible, but I didn't think he was a standout. I don't think he was in our best players at all tonight. I think for a young fella who first final, let's call this out. 7 Cats played their first final, and we win by 84 points.
Wow.
7 Cats. Oshane
I
Mullen.
did not know that. Yeah.
There was 6. There was 6 before the Stewart withdrawal, and Oshane Mullen comes in and says, "Oh, this is easy. Off we go. It's party time.
Hey, this isn't too bad.
It's party time."
No, I wasn't trying to say that Shannon Neal was in our best 22, but I thought for the atmosphere, for the hostility being on the road, 2 goals 2 was not bad. I thought he did a really good role. He's fulfilling the Tom Hawkins role, and I think he's done a good job, all things considered. So, yeah, my players to watch out for, for my favorite players tonight was Max Holmes. I'll say Sean Manor. I'll say Patrick Dangerfield. Oh, man, I don't want to take away from that Jeremy Cameron, though. Jeremy Cameron just came alive as well. But we say Jeremy Cameron every week, so it seems unfair.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to see what the Hoops crew team vote this round. Yeah. I feel like it won't be Jezza in the votes. I feel like there'll be some unsung heroes that maybe don't always get in the votes that might poll a little bit. I'm really torn. I was at one point Tom Atkins was getting votes. Brad Close was getting votes for maybe 2/3 of the game.
Was he? Because he's been down.
Yeah. Oh, watch the replay tomorrow night or whenever you get a chance.
I will then.
Every decision Brad Close made was chef's kiss tonight. He didn't make a wrong decision all night. Now, maybe I've got a bit too much Brad Close love because he's playing his 100th game. Shout out Brad Close. But
you were on that.
But he was perfect tonight. Just missed a few shots on goal, which probably would have been great for him to get a goal on his 100th. But everything else he did, every decision, his spacing, his poise. He had so much time. Oh my God. I could go on about Brad Close, but I'm like, this is your
look, last thing I'll say, because I know it's a busy feed tonight. Cats, Adelaide Oval, 3-0 this season. We beat in round 2. We went over, beat Adelaide Crows, which was not as impressive in hindsight, but it was still an impressive win at the time because we thought Adelaide was going to be good.
Yep.
Round 4, gather round, we beat the Dogs at Adelaide Oval.
Dogs.
And then tonight, we beat Port Adelaide. Feeling good?
Come at us, Bulldogs. No, they're pretty good. They're probably one of the favourites. Come at us.
Yeah.
John, it's been great to chat with you again, mate. We're going to be
2 weeks.
2 weeks' time. I don't know how we're going to do the post game in 2 weeks because I really want to get to this game. So
okay.
It might be a post game live the day after. Maybe we'll see how we go. We'll see what happens. But it's always better when it's fresh, though. Oh goodness me! All right, mate. You enjoy your evening. Thanks for coming on.
Anytime.
Take care, buddy. All right. Now, I reckon, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a rookie, a newbie on Post Game Live. Here he is, Nelson. Welcome. Oh, you might have your microphone on mute there. You got your microphone on mute. There you go. No, still on mute, unfortunately. No good. I might have to come back to you, Nelson. That's all right. I'll come back to you in a few minutes, okay? Oh, no, sad face. We'll turn it around. All right, I'll come back. All right, Rick and Millie, have we got you ready to go? Thumbs up in the vid. Yes, here we go. I don't want to just bring it up straight away. Oh, my favourite podcasters in the world of the Cats podcasting world. Here they are, Rick and Millie from Hoops. There it is, podcast.
Hopefully we're not muted. Are we muted? Whew.
You're not muted.
Phew, we've made it on.
How good?
How good?
It was like fan fiction. It's like the Geelong fans got together and wrote some fan fiction, and we just watched that fan fiction tonight.
It was like the Geelong Cats got their hands on some AI software and said, write a script that where Geelong absolutely embarrasses the AFL media experts who said we were going out in straight sets, who didn't give us a chance at all. Too old, too slow. That same thing they roll out again. Please write this script and somehow, and then it'll be great. And we'll all just have a great time and enjoy it. But,
it was delightful. One of the top tier Thursday nights I think I've experienced in quite some time.
How good are Thursday nights?
You lock them in.
Lock you in the prelim on a Thursday night. Don't worry about work the next day. Don't worry about school kids.
Nah.
Yeah. Oh,
Fridays are optional. They always have been.
Talk to me about the game. Talk to me about the game tonight.
Oh, it was so good.
Mate.
We've had it on our bingo sheet, which take a look.
Blow it up. There you go. You're on the big screen now. Oh, look at the bingo sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an upgrade.
Got the whiteboard out. And we've had
Just in time for final.
Yeah, right? We've had the Ollie Dempsey takes the screamer one there since like the dawn of time. And he's finally done it.
He's finally risen up above the pack and just plucked one.
It was the most excited I've ever been.
Love it. Are you nervous going into this game? Let's just wind the clock back maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, really. Like, it was one of those ones where every possibility would make sense. Like, if you told me that this happened, I'd be like, oh yeah, I can believe that. If you told us it was a close game, I'd also believe that. If you told me that Port were going to win by a stack, I'd also believe that. Like, every outcome kind of made sense in what we know of the Cats, you know what I mean? So I'm glad we're in this universe. This timeline is prime timeline that we're in right now.
It reminds me of Avengers Endgame, where Doctor Strange is one he's gone through he's used his time stone and he's gone through all. Sorry, nerds. The nerds don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, wasn't it?
And he looks over at Tony Stark and he goes, "Yep, it's time." And the Cats were ready.
If only it was at Marvel Stadium, it would have been perfect.
Perfect. Lots of be. Lots of be.
So
going in, we definitely weren't comfortable. We weren't confident. We were hopeful.
Then I started getting faith in Chris Scott. Like, I reckon he's got a plan here. He's,
delayed out
Tom Stewart, which we thought might happen, and then bringing in O'Shea Mullen, who last time we played Port kept Jason Horne-Francis very quiet. So I liked him coming in, which a lot of people weren't too happy about. I noticed coming in, but
we knew he was Horne-Francis kryptonite. That's what we knew, and that's what you want.
I think we all thought, even before the Tom Stewart news, I think a lot of us thought Sam De Koning is going to come in, right? Like there'll be someone that won't get up, and Sam De Koning's coming in. And I was very surprised when the Stewart news dropped, and then following that, the O'Shea Mullen news was, he's coming in, and you could just sense it on Twitter. You could sense it in the streets of Geelong. People weren't happy.
The comments section blew up, and not in a positive way.
I was happy though.
Yeah,
I knew. I was like, this is good.
It's going to work out good for us. Just a masterclass by Chris Scott, as always, pulling the strings, writing the script. So it was. I think, like a lot of Cats fans, we were just hoping that we didn't, come out sluggish. Just didn't want to be 4 goals down before we woke up. You know what I mean? The first quarter was dream scenario, just to still just be a little bit ahead and just like showing all those good signs.
You're right.
It was good Cats footy in that first quarter that gave you hope that they come to play.
John was saying, the previous caller, John was saying it was a different Geelong. Like it wasn't what we'd been used to seeing, but which I agree with him. There's some elements there that we hadn't seen in the regular season, but there's also that Geelong DNA that was showing through as well. Just that the ball use, the connection, the skills, it was just it was the little things. It was the small stuff and the big stuff. It was all that wrapped together. And every player, whether you're a star or whether you're just a fringe player, everyone just played their role tonight.
And it was the consistency of it. You know what I mean? Often we show in flashes, they give us the Cats DNA just a taste. They give us a little taste. And then they're like, oh, we're going to sit back for a while and just let the opposition score a few goals. And you're like, come on, Cats, get back on it. But tonight they were just like, oh, we might just do it the whole game this time for fun.
That connection.
Who stood out for you? Because I'm finding it really hard sitting here now, maybe half an hour after the siren to find a top three. And gee, it's going to be really hard for anyone to settle on the best three. But yeah, who were some of the players that you thought stood out for you tonight?
Oh, look, well, we've got a massive honourable mentions list. Honestly, the whole team gets an honourable mention.
Alphabetically.
And yeah. There are a few standouts. I'm lucky not to make the top three in our votes. Not to get a vote was Maximum Holmes, who lit it up in that first half right when we needed him to.
Yeah.
Was doing it all.
We were worried because he had that little ankle injury thing.
Yeah, they had to strap him up.
In the second quarter?
After he'd been doing everything, everywhere, all the time, just the maximum Holmes. But in the end, we because he had the ankle strapped and he quietened down a little bit, he took the foot off he went to slightly less than Maximum Holmes. But he could easily figure in the votes, but he doesn't. So he gets a very honourable mention. Yeah. Who else gets an honourable mention?
Ollie Dempsey for the screamer.
And just for being Ollie Dempsey all game.
Good stuff from Ollie.
The Rising Star medal suits him. Yeah. It's made him stand even taller.
And then Big Ruck, because we're massive advocates for Big Ruck.
He was working on his ground ball gets today, wasn't he? He was like
up high and down low.
He was second efforts, Big Ruck. He was second efforts all night, because even if he didn't make it work first time, you'd be like, oh, it's gotten away from him. But then all of a sudden he's back there in and under, fixing his mistakes.
Good stuff from the big man.
The first half from the Cats was all about fixing your mistakes as well. People would make a mistake, and then very soon after they'd be mopping up and rectifying.
The Sean Manor 7-point play.
Oh yes.
With the exact same shot.
Yes.
Let me do a retry, a redo.
So that happened quite a bit in the first half.
Shannon Neal, he turned it over, and then straight away they kicked it back to Shannon Neal.
Yeah.
And he was like, let me try again.
I'll make it right this time, boys. I'll make it right. And Big Ruck was doing it all night. Anytime he felt like he hadn't quite got it right, you'd be back in there, crashing and bashing.
Big Ruck.
And is that all the honourable mentions? Yeah. And then who did we give one vote to? Sean Manor. Jeez, it's good to have Sean Manor just floating around, infecting the team with his good vibes.
Good energy.
We often talk about teams having a vibe player, and I think Sean Manor might be our sneaky vibe player. Yeah. That's just spreading good energy amongst the team. He's selfless. Mm-hmm. He's always got a smile on his face, and he's just always doing good things for the team.
I thought that was Ollie Dempsey tonight. I didn't think Ollie Dempsey set the world on fire. He did a lot of good things, but he just, every time someone kicked a goal, he was patting them on the back and smiling away. He just seemed like the happiest player on the ground. And I was like,
good times.
And Maxi Home, in the rooms before the game doing his little dance. Right.
2 votes.
Tyson Stengel.
Nice.
Just poaching, just lurking around the back of packs, doing some magic.
Yeah.
Unlucky to get votes as well was Jeremy Cameron, just for his inability to kick a set shot, but just ridiculous goals for fun.
Yeah,
he was doing. But you didn't want to see him take a mark in front of the sticks like 20 meters out, because you're like, well, he won't kick that. Get him falling over backwards beyond the 50. You know. He wanted to Cirque du Soleil the goals tonight, and
did someone crack a beer tonight? Like, was that? Did I say that?
He gave finger guns.
Finger guns.
But someone might have done the crack a beer celebration.
Like
we were probably
I feel like
each
that
other
happened
at the time.
That's one for the replay, I think. We'll see if we can figure out who's cracked the can, or maybe I just was so deliriously off with the planet. I was saying things maybe.
It was giving 2022 grand final flashbacks a little bit.
Yeah.
It might be that as well.
Yeah, just in vibe.
Yeah.
As a Geelong fan watching, it did fill you with that sense of football's great. Isn't football fun? Why do we ever stress? That's halfway through the third quarter, you're like, football. How good is it?
I sent out a tweet, night pair, and I was like, I'm holding that tweet. I'm like, 50 points up. Is it too soon? Is it too soon? I'm like,
yeah.
Even now, 4 premierships later, 14 prelims in 18 years now, someone said, I still get nervous being 50 points up.
I still wasn't quite satisfied in the 50 point. And also it was around that time, around the 50-point lead, where Jason Horne-Francis decided maybe he could do it all by himself. He started showing up all over the field, doing all sorts of things. And you're like, don't drag him back in the game all by yourself, Jason Horne-Francis. He gets my goat. I think everyone has a player somewhere in the AFL that gets their goat, and Jason Horne-Francis gets my goat.
Charlie Dixon for me tonight, just cheap sniper shots every chance he got. He was sucking.
You can't be mad at him. He's only got one leg. It's amazing he's out there at all. No. I think you need someone that you don't like just to channel that negative energy. It's a necessary part of the football landscape, is having a player that every time you look at him, you're like, God, you stick in my craw.
You know what I like about Geelong players, though? They still have love for the Radagalaires and the Francis Evans and Sparkle Narkle. How many other Geelong players were playing for Port tonight? I think that's about it.
Yeah. Is it possible that before we trade people out, we embed a hypnotic safe word? So whenever we're playing them, we just, as we walk past them, we say avocado, and they just are incapable of impacting the play in any real and palpable way. We've just got sleeper agents that we've sent out into the world. Because why would you leave Geelong? Our 3 votes. We should give our 3 votes.
Yes, please. 3 votes.
3 votes. Guthrie.
Oh, big baby, the Z-Bang.
Z-Bang. Channeling the power of 2 Guthries. I think he's absorbed the power of Cam Guthrie, and he's just using it while Cam's not out there. He gets double Guthrie power. He also stands a lot taller when Tom Stewart's left out. It's like he also takes on the power of Tom Stewart. Yeah. And he was everywhere you wanted him to be tonight, doing all the things that Zach Guthrie should be doing. At an elite level.
This might sound ridiculous, and call me out in the chat if you think I'm just saying stupid things right now. But is Zach Guthrie better than Tom Stewart right now? Is he had a better year than Tom Stewart? Because at one point they talked about him being a possibility for All Australian. I'd say they're probably neck. I think they're probably neck and neck. I think Zach Guthrie's had a terrific year. That was one of the better games I've seen him play. He wasn't a match winner, but he was solid the whole way through.
Yeah.
And, I want to watch that replay so bad right now. I want to see.
Yeah. And just keep your eye on the Z-Banger, because I don't know if he wasn't not a match winner, I'd say. He was definitely, it could have been a different game if Z-Banger wasn't Z-Banging,
You're right.
Now, is it Z-Bang or is it Z-Bang? Because I don't know. Depends on.
I know.
Z-Bang is better, but
it rolls off the tongue better. But you do feel a little dirty because culturally we're just instilled with the Z. Yeah. But you try to say Z-Bang, it's not right.
Yeah, I grew up with a bit of Sesame Street.
That's right.
A, B, C, Z, ZY, whatever it is. I can't even remember now. Go back to school.
Sometimes you just got to go with the flow. You can't. You've just got to fight your instincts and allow and let your tongue say what your tongue wants to say.
See, I still like Big Baby Guthrie, but I don't think if I met him in the street, he'd approve of Big Baby Guthrie. I say it with love. If he's watching tonight, I'm sure he's not, but if he is watching, I love him so much, and it's not meant as a put down. It's just because he looked like an Oz kicker when he first came into the AFL, and I'm just like. Now it was Baby Guthrie, and now he's big Baby Guthrie.
Yeah.
Strong and powerful and dominant.
Play it safe when you see him and call him BBG. BBG. And you'll know what you mean. And he won't get offended.
No.
It's a win-win situation.
I hope not.
And
Baby
also
Gus,
get him to sign something.
yes, sign it, please.
Yeah.
I want his headband.
So now we get a week off. Oh, it's even
What are we
better.
gonna
And a home prelim. Stop it.
What are we going to do? Oh, we're getting so big headed right now. It's great. We enjoy it. We can enjoy.
Got to
it
enjoy the wins.
Enjoy the wins. Thankfully, we haven't had too much complaints yet. I don't know about the chat. I'm trying to keep an eye on it, but it's going too fast for me to track. I'll come back around to some comments at the end of the show, people. So, but yeah, hopefully a bit of positivity. And yes, we missed a few set shots, but let's enjoy the moment, Cats fans. It was one of those rare finals that everything just clicked, and you'll remember this one for a long time.
It's just what you want to ease ourselves into a final series.
Ease ourselves into a Friday morning. Make sure you wear your Cats colours at work tomorrow or at school if you're going. Make sure you bring an extra pair for a colleague who doesn't follow the footy, but you want to recruit them. Get them all on board. For Adelaide fans, make sure you rock up at work get some Cats gear. I'm sure there's an AFL shop near you somewhere.
Just buy some cats. Buy some real cats. Hand them out on the street corner. Get down to your local train station and hand out cats to the commuters.
Whatever it takes.
It's free Cat Friday. We'll call it.
Oh, beautiful. Any other thoughts on the game before I let you go?
Look, no, I'm just hoping at this stage that I don't wake up and it's still Thursday and it's Thursday morning and I dreamt this whole thing. That's my only fear at the moment, is that this whole day has been a beautiful dream that didn't actually happen. So fingers crossed I wake up tomorrow and it is actually Free Cat Friday, and not I haven't looped back to Thursday with this whole game ahead of me.
Yeah, that'd be sad.
Yeah, unless it's the same game, I'd watch it again. I'd watch the same game again. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I'll Groundhog Day this one, no worries.
Let's do it. Loop that thing. Enjoy the night, everyone.
Go Cats.
Ooh, the Catters. Let's go. All right. Now, this is not I don't know if have I got both Biancas on at the moment or just one Bianca. I think I've just got one Bianca. I'm gonna get the I'll call her the orange Bianca. I don't know if that's okay to call you the orange Bianca. Let me just set up first. Here we go. All right, post-game Bianca.
What's up?
You're claiming it. You can have
I'm claiming it. I'll claim it. I mean, I don't want to say that I am magic, but Up the Cat is getting played on K-Rock today may or may not have had something to do with our win.
Did it really get played on K-Rock today?
Yeah, it did this morning at 9 a.m.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yep, which is cool, which is exciting.
I would love to put it on the live stream while we're talking, but it actually
it's too much.
Yeah, it's sort of just brought things a bit. I will play it at the end of the show for those that are still here in 4 hours' time.
Yeah. Well, we could talk all night about how great that game was.
Why not? We'll put
so
the replay
good.
later and watch it. We'll just have a live watch along from 2 a.m.
Perfect. Live stream react. Everyone can jump on, have a minute. Yeah, it was so good. That was so much fun. I wasn't worried about us losing it all. I had a good feeling. But I didn't think we would win by that much. I was kind of like nervous at the start a little bit, and then I was like, okay. And then we just were all over them. It was great.
Do you like to win the close ones, or do you like to sit back, an hour and a half into the game knowing that it's won and just enjoy it and celebrate and just every little kick and goal and mark, it's just clap, clap, clap. Or do you prefer the ones that get your heart up and about, get you going a little bit, get a bit of nerves?
Yeah. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but I prefer the ones that are closer because it's like more, I don't know. Yeah, the game anxiety is a nice little touch. Kind of makes you feel alive in a way.
You do remember those ones a lot more, don't you? They stand the test of time in history. That the Collingwood games that we had and the close prelim there. It's probably the one that 2007. I don't think many of us would sort of forget that one. And I think the other Collingwood one in 22 as well, where we just got over the line. And thank you, Jezza Cameron, for kicking goals from the boundary and doing the big ear thing. That was great.
how good was he tonight when that guy was yelling at him, the Port supporter, and he's just like, I would have loved some audio on that. That was so good. It's so good. I love that he does that. I love that he shows like a bit of personality. He's like, not having that. Like, see ya.
There were so many of those little moments outside of the game tonight that I just look. I've forgotten most of them, but yeah, just some little things that outside of the footy. Just the coach's box. Chris Scott laughing when we finally got a free kick.
Yeah, that was so good. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen him smile that big, like from the coach's box anyway.
He didn't know what to do with himself towards the end of the third quarter there. He thought, what am I supposed to do? Am I going to, should I just remove myself from the coach's box because I'm overthinking things and I just need to sort of not complicate it right now. I just need to, like, the game's won. All I'm going to do is probably tell Dangerfield to take Mark of the Year and he'll do a hammy, and I best just to sort of stay away from it. I was screaming at him though through the TV. I was saying, Chris, get Danger off the ground. Get him off. And then I thought, Danger's on the bench. Okay, he's been on the bench for 5 minutes. He's not coming back on. And then 2 seconds later, he's back on the ground. What are you doing? And he's flying for marks and trying to run down blokes from Port Adelaide. I'm like, oh my God, don't do that, hamstring Danger. But he can't help himself.
He can't help himself in Adelaide, can he? The booze only fuel him stronger. It's crazy.
What are some of the things you'll remember from this game tonight? What are your big moments that you really
my goodness, I like the other two were just saying it felt like a dream. Like, are we actually in this reality? Which is awesome. Oh my God, I feel like I've just
it's like I'm going to bring it back to Marvel again. So Thanos has got his reality gem. Sorry for anyone who's not a nerd, but he warps reality and it's like, then it all disappears and it's like, oh no,
and then it's gone.
Still here.
I thought Lawson was excellent.
Oh, Lawson. Please talk about Lawson.
Oh, I mean, just so good. I'm just really impressed with. I just feel like he's just getting better and better and better. Like, and
can he get better though? Can he actually get better? I don't know because
I don't know.
He's already perfection.
Yeah, and just he's kind of not around for a little bit, and then you see him like come back again, and he just has such an impact, and then. I'm just like, he's awesome. Like, it's been really cool, like watching him like thrive and come into his own so quickly this year. It's been really, really cool. I'm really excited about our team. Like, I know we had a lot of the older boys out, and I shouldn't say older boys because they're the same age as me, but yeah, it was just really cool to watch how strong we were tonight with the different mix up and like having Tom Stewart being taken out. Like a lot of people were obviously very worried about that because he's had such an impact.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see us do so well without, and kind of watch the more experienced boys kind of. I feel like they kind of hung back a little bit and kind of let everyone sort of do their thing.
They didn't need to, and that is why I think. And maybe not everyone agrees, especially outside of this Geelong Footy Club and the fan base, that it's the second tier players. Well, it's not the traditional A graders like your Danger and so forth, and even Jezza. Yes, he's had a good couple of weeks, but it's been the Max Holmeses and the Ollie Dempseys and those likes that have really propelled this side this year, and there's a lot of similarities. It's really weird because it's just two years ago, but your Selwood's starting to sort of trail off a bit, and it's like he's not the one leading the way anymore. It's like other people have sort of picked up that the baton and they're running with it, and it's what you need. And look, there's still a long way to go. Look, we're halfway there. We're halfway there after this win tonight, but. We've got a preliminary final at the MCG. It'll probably be, it depends. I think it'll be a Friday night if GWS beats Sydney. Don't ask me why. I think it's because it's ladder positions and so forth. I think Sydney needs extra time to get back to Sydney and all that. If they're hosting a preliminary final, if they'll be hosting that, it needs to travel. So, probably more. Anyway, I've just turned myself all around. But anyway, I think we're playing Friday night, but I don't know that for sure. So I think that would be.
Is that the 20th? I feel like that's the 20th.
Yeah, I feel like you could be right.
I have no gigs that weekend, so I'm ready.
A gig at the MCG. We'll get the Catters playing on the PA system.
You might
there.
need to start a petition so they actually know about this song.
Get a petition going.
Get a petition going.
We'll give it a play tonight. So the 3 million people watching this podcast tonight and over the next few days will get a good listen to it. So no, it's one of those nights. Just got to celebrate, Cats fans.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to sleep anytime soon. But it's good. It's a good feeling.
I'm gonna go to work.
I don't have to work till 10 p.m. tomorrow night, so I'm all good. That's a DJ live, baby.
Love it. Love it.
Thanks for having me on. It was a pleasure as always.
Do you want to do a 3-2-1? Your 3 best players on the ground?
My 3 best on ground. Let's go. Do I have to vote? Is like 3 the best and then 1 the? How does it work? I kind of.
So the
sorry guys, first time doing this.
3, yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? 3, maximum 3 votes is the best player, and then work your way the other way around if you want. First,
let's go. I'm gonna go 3 votes. Sean Manor.
Shawnee, good call.
I think he was really good. And then I'd go 2 for Stengel. I love Stengel.
Like it.
And 1 point. I'll just give it to Jezza.
If in doubt, give it to Jezza. That's what
I'm literally trying to rerun the moments in my head and then visualizing them with their numbers and then things that they did. And it's all just a lot.
It's like the umpires when they give Brownlow votes. It's like, I don't know half the players. Lockie Neal, he'll do.
That one.
Give it to Chris Judd.
Also, can I just say Brad Close and Ollie Henry have the same haircut?
Yes, they do. What's that about?
Don't know. I cocked that today because it's like obviously Baby Guthrie, Blitz, Stewart, and Dempsey all have the same hair.
Yes.
So now I'm like, and that's the blonde boys, and now the brunettes are getting that same haircut with that fade. So let's see if it catches on to some other boys in the team. Maybe there's a secret in the sauce to the hair.
Cats fans, if you want to see Bianca at the footy, she's pretty easy to spot. You got the bright orange hair, unless you're going to mix it up, or you've been orange for a while.
I've been orange for a while. Yeah, I might maybe go yellow, but I think orange is the vibe. It looks good with the blue, so
I think it really pops on the blue. So yeah. I'm sure you'll be a couple of Cats fans that have got to know you over the last couple of weeks through this show and some socials, and have heard the tune on Spotify and K-Rock today. So
yeah. And if anyone wants it as their ringtone, if you go on my Instagram, there's a link that says download it for free from my Bandcamp. So you can download it and then it's yours, because I had a few people ask me, and that would be sick if it was your ringtone. So it's a free download. You don't have to pay for it.
We'll have to find a way to post that in the chat, unless you can sort of somehow work out how to do that tonight.
Maybe I will, or I'll send you the link anyway, and then you can figure it out.
Either way.
Yeah, cool.
All right, enjoy your night. Go Catters.
Go Catters. See you later. Bye.
All right. Now, have we got the Creed around still? The Creed. I don't know. Give us a little nod. Here we've actually got he's so good. He's come on after a loss. Port Adelaide fans. Now, people in the chat ask you to be nice. We had Jake from the Saints TV the other week, and there was a couple of people having a crack at him. But you lose a big game and you come on this show. Take my hat off to him. Here he is. Thank you for coming on. I'm sorry.
You've caught me. I'm like half in a stupor in my hotel room, just avoiding life right now. So
that would hurt. That game would hurt.
Yeah, it hurts as much as 2007, so that's fun.
Sorry if I was a little carried away.
Look, I appreciate you guys being good. I've sat through the last half hour of chat and just it's One of the things I think about at these times is like when I'm listening to your fans that you've had on the show over the last 45 minutes. I try to remind myself of the times I've been in that position. Hasn't been much in a while, but I congrats to you guys. It's hard to say right now because I bet it's more I'm pissed off at my team. I'm not, in moments in the game, mad at the umpires or whatever. But overall, you guys absolutely kicked the shit out of us. So, congrats to you guys. Congrats to your fans, the guys that are listening, guys and gals. You kicked the shit out of us, and you deserve the result tonight.
Can I ask you from your perspective what went wrong? Because I think a lot of Cats fans. Well, what didn't go wrong?
Do you want this show to go to 6 a.m.? Like when do you want this thing to finish?
I watched the game through the goggles of a one-eyed Geelong supporter, a single goggle because we're one-eyed. So I'm aware that there's another team playing. I am aware of that. They flash into the screen every now and then in the teal, but no, it's very much about, oh, come on, Geelong, get that tackle and kick it. It's very stupid. But yeah, like for you though, like what is a couple, if you could sort of say one or two things that really sort of where it fell apart, what would take me through that if you can?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. The second half, I was at the game for those. I was literally there. The second half, I kind of just sat off to the side after a while and drank my beers and didn't watch too much. To be honest, I'll get for our own podcast, I'll get more out of it watching the replay, which I masochistically do for our purposes. But as far as the first quarter, like you kind of saw the warning signs in the first quarter. Everything that we've done to get from the big turning point for us this season, as far as the media goes and everything, the Ken Hinkley discussions, was the Brisbane game and everything that changed after that. And a lot of that was being first to the ball. It's all those those key talking points that people talk about. It sounds very cliche, but it's first to the ball, ground ball gets pressure, all those things, and you just saw a lack of. What I was standing on the hill. Anyone that's been to Adelaide Oval knows the hill. Yep. And just my view from there was like our slowness. And it wasn't just defensively, like our defense was under incredible pressure in that first quarter. And I actually had a lot of respect for our defense and the guys because they were just every ball that came out just was coming straight back in. Like, guys that had just booted the ball out were having to get set up to, get ready for the next contest. And it just was it was just slowness. There was a lethargy in the legs. Just watching the body language of the players, it just was the complete antithesis of what we've seen over the last 8 weeks. Everything that's built to the point of Port fans, and Port fans had an understandable reason to be confident going into this game over the last 8 weeks, but everything that's built to that confidence was torn away in that first quarter, and just the body language of the team. There's not any one thing I can point to. Midfield pressure was a problem right away. I was very concerned with the fact that you guys very quickly took over in the set, like just the center clearance game and all that stuff. The pressure in the middle was something that we've built our game on in the last 8 weeks, and that's where it starts from. But there was just a lot of other things early, and ironically, considering how badly we lost, I was actually quite impressed with their defense early, but it was only because they had to deal with so much pressure.
I think the second quarter, they actually looked really good, and it got me a little bit. I was quite nervous, really, and probably being really honest. I thought probably you guys were going to run away with it. I thought we'd done really well, and Cats have done this a few times this year where we've started really well and then it's almost like it's a different side after the first quarter or the second half, things like that. And I thought, okay, the Port game, there was signs that the Port team was starting to click. It was starting to kick into gear a little bit. I think he sort of took a little while to get out of second gear, and then, okay, they're in third gear now. They're ready to get into fourth. And then Geelong just found a way to respond after Port hit the lead. And that was the part that shocked me the most. I thought, okay, Port's back in this game now. We've got a game. This is actually going to be a close one. And then the Cats said, nah, 5 goals straight from then on, or whatever it was, and killed the contest pretty much. And in the fourth quarter, we probably don't even really need to talk about that because it was neither side really kind of gave a shit. From
I
that point
didn't.
on.
I'll be honest. I didn't see a lick of the fourth quarter.
Fair enough.
I was in
Fair
the
enough.
ground. I was just sipping on my beer and on my phone. Like I was there, but just at that point, you're texting. You're dealing with, whether it be a Port fan friend that's commiserating with you, or it's a dickhead that that's not a Port fan. You're trying to fucking just push them away. So the fourth quarter, I didn't see much, but yeah, that period that we came back, I was like, okay, this is the team that we know over the last 2 months. But then, it's not even any one thing, but it's just like a little bit of a few 1%ers go the other way, but you guys capitalized just so perfectly on the it was a game of moments in that second quarter. I think just specific moments. Radically in a marking contest, and I think a free kick goes. I'm not saying it's a umpire thing. In the moment, I definitely was I'm a Port fan. I'm on the heel screaming about the umpires being yellow maggots. But
we did that.
Yeah. We all do it. We all do it. Look inward, people, and you do it. But the reality is, you guys capitalized on the moments, and suddenly, because we got ourselves ahead by 3 points in that brief moment where that you're talking about, you're worried about, but then 5 minutes later, you're up by Geelong. You guys are up by a couple of goals again. It's just football's about capitalizing on moments, whether or not you feel they're unjust your way or the other way. It's just that's always the way it's been, and any sport is the way it is. And and to your credit, that your game plan set yourself up to be able to do that. Our game plan went back to a little bit of the chaos game plan that Port Adelaide has been at times, when we're trying to piece together the very good talented pieces we have, whether it be defensively or whatever. But a lot of people are going to make some people that look at us from a casual point of view will go, oh, it's Dan Houston and Kane Farrell missing. But I don't even look at it that. It's just we just were beaten by a better team tonight. I don't know if you throw Dan Houston into that game. I don't know if that makes that much difference to. Can you tell me what the final margin was? Because I fucking don't even know at this point.
84 points. It was.
Well, that's worse than I thought.
14 goals. 14 goals.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but look, whatever it was at 3/4 time, essentially that's really the margin. To be honest,
Yeah.
Fourth quarter. The Cats I look at the way the Cats were just going in the last quarter. I'm like, they just don't want to quit. For whatever reason, they just want to put the hurt on Port Adelaide. And I think we're still a bit. I think we're a bit pissed off about losing at Geelong against you guys a few weeks back. I don't think that sat well with a lot of us, and especially that first quarter.
I wish we took that energy the opposite way, because we do that. We've done that a few times in the minor round, and it's just like we never. Good on you for taking that energy out of it. It's really annoying, because that was a great win for our season, and then didn't turn our season around, but at least righted the ship. But that is not to be just like my point of view. I'm not I'm not one of those dickhead Ken haters. I don't do I take a practical point of view to discussing footy. Grand finals are hard to win. It's very difficult to get to the point. Finishing top 4 is very difficult to do regularly. So there's a benefit to what Ken has brought to our team over the years, but there's a very significant trend that is built to this point and is continuing with the result we've had tonight. And it's hard to kind of reconcile what we've seen tonight. And that's the problem is now I look at this result, I look at the Western Bulldogs prelim in 2021 that we all know of as well, and certainly some of just even last year, the straight sets exit we had last year against obviously tough qualifying in Brisbane, but then losing at home to GWS last year as well. It's just there's a trend of just not turning up on the big day and a little bit of lethargy and chasing the ball rather than. For me, footy is about exerting your influence on the result and making sure the result is in your hands. And it's just there's so much moments over the last couple of years that we don't do that. We chase the result rather than make the result, and that's I know that's just a very kind of vibey way of talking about it, but that's just how I see it at the moment. I am 12 beers deep at this point, so I apologise that I'm not that that nuanced about it, but yeah.
I'll bring some positivity back to you if I can try. One is people in the chat are giving you lots of love, which is nice to see.
I appreciate
and
that. I haven't actually seen it because thank you.
Okay. But John, who was one of our guests earlier, first one up tonight, is saying, where can we find your podcast? Because people are pretty keen. And I know I am as well. Like I try and listen to opposition podcasts where I can, because it's nice to sort of see what the other side says, especially, about their own side, but also about our team as well. Because we're sort of seeing things from a certain way, and how does opposition teams see it as well? So, but if you want to maybe give your podcast a bit of a plug, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's just called the Creed Cast. So the Creed and then cast on the end of it. Not too difficult. We're a little small port podcast, but we try to. I mean, we're nuffies. Like, we love port, but we try to look at the result as objectively as possible while being a little bit nuffy-ish about it. But yeah, the Creed Cast it's called. So look it up on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, and you'll find it. The Creed Cast.
Beautiful.
Yeah, my buddy. And I've spent the last 12 months in the US, and I just flew in from the US yesterday for this, so I'm very jet lagged as well, which is part of my my stupor at the moment is like my body thinks it's about 4 o'clock in the morning at the moment too. So
good news is you've got a home final next week, and you've got a chance to knock out Hawthorn, which would be nice for us because we hate them, or possibly the Bulldogs. And if you get through that one, there's a team that you had a nice little beat up on a few weeks back in the Sydney Swans. Hopefully, you might come up against them in a prelim, and I reckon you'd be feeling pretty good about going into that one after a semi-final win as well. So it's not all doom and gloom, Port fans. The season's not done yet. Cats made a grand final after losing a qualifying final in 2020, and so did Richmond, went on and won it, but we don't talk about that game. So it's definitely possible. It's just it's a tough one. It's going to take an absolute miracle. I'm not going to lie, considering the massive defeat tonight. But it has lined up pretty well in terms of who you might be playing in a prelim if you get that far. So feel good about that at least.
I think it's one of those things. Like, finals is all about. It's tough no matter what, and if you're gonna, for me, already looking ahead, I was like, we need to win this one because I don't want to play Western Bulldogs or Hawthorn, whoever it is, because they're, as you know, they're very popularly known in the media as two of the informed teams. But you've got to beat good teams to win the grand final in the end. And unfortunately, we didn't win tonight, but we do get the double chance. So yeah, no, you're I appreciate not that I've seen the comments in the chat, but you've said that there's some kind ones. Appreciate anyone's been kind, and I appreciate you having me on as well, because it's one of those weird things about doing the fan podcast thing. It's sometimes weirdly nice to commiserate with someone that's of a common sense mind from the other side to chat about it all.
I appreciate that. Look, it's a tough one, and I know it's probably hard to take to hear much positivity out of a loss like that. But the sun will come up tomorrow. Oh God, I got to shut up because I sound like an arrogant Geelong supporter now. But I know what it's. We all know what it's like to lose finals, and there's only going to be one team that's standing on that premiership dais at the end of the year, and 7 teams are going to be miserable in a few weeks' time. So,
the thing is, between now and the sun coming up tomorrow, there's a couple more beers in my future, so that'll help.
Might be a couple of replays for us too. We'll get the odd replay. Look, seriously, thank you.
I'm going to be looking away from all the TVs that are in the bars around here. But,
it's a long weekend ahead, though, of watching other teams go about it. Look, really, hats off to you for coming on. Really appreciate it. And if anyone wants to check out the potty, please do so. And thanks for all the kind words in the chat as well. So you have a good night. Well, enjoy a couple more beers anyway, and hopefully you go well next week.
Yeah, no, cheers, and good luck to you. You've got a damn good footy team there at the moment, and you've set yourselves up nicely for a good run at this year again, which is a testament to the footy program you guys have got together at the moment.
Thank you very much.
We got on. You you guys are in a damn good place at the moment. So, yeah, good luck the rest of the way.
All right. Good on you, mate. Take care. Enjoy your night. See ya. All right. Kyri. We love Kyri. He's been waiting for a while now. Here he is. Live from Adelaide. Hello.
Oh, Ben, how are we, mate? Never tear up our tops, buddy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I just got back home 2 minutes ago, mate. Yeah, I'm in shock. I am literally in shock right now. Just that third quarter, that was the best performance I've seen from Geelong all year, and since the grand final as well. It was an absolute complete performance. Even from start to finish, if we're being brutally honest, we just absolutely killed the Port Adelaide midfield. Only Jason Horne-Francis was standing tall over there, but Connor Rosie missing in action. As soon as Zach Butters got subbed off, the game was over. And but yeah, it's everyone played their part. Like Sean Manor, he stood up. Lawson Humphrey stood up. Ollie Dempsey stood up. Patrick Dangerfield, fantastic. Jeremy Cameron, enough said, man. I could name a lot of players that played their part, but it was just an absolute complete performance. We're going to another preliminary final. I'm so proud of this club, Ben. I really am. I just don't know what to say, honestly.
How do we get you over to Victoria in 2 weeks' time? How do we make this happen? how do we get you a seat at the MCG to watch the Cats fight their way into another grand final and win that Paddy Dangerfield? Get another premiership medal and a premiership captain, a Ron Barassi medal. It's now called for premiership captain.
Ron Barassi medal now, yeah.
How do we get you there? We got to make that happen, mate. Let's do it. Look, you're right. It's just an amazing performance, and it's just an absolute throwback to that 2022 year. And I don't know. There's not really. I mean, there's one thing, and I don't want to harp on about it because we've just had an 84-point win. But the only really thing you can say tonight is we didn't kick well from set shots, but you balance that out with kicking some miraculous goals that you probably shouldn't have kicked. So, and in the end, what did we kick? We kicked more goals than behinds anyway. So it's kind of like that'll get lost in history. Really, no one will remember the fact that we missed 7 or 8 scoring set shots for a goal. Like, who cares? No injuries as far as we know, even though on the AFL website at one point they were saying Brian Myers was off injured. And then proceeds to kick 2 goals in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Myers was just outstanding as well. Yeah. Tyson, I'll tell you what, Ben. I was very nervous when Tom Stewart was laid out, and I thought, oh no, here we go again. And I was actually with Lucas and and Gary, one of the other hoopies.
Oh, Gary.
Well. We were saying,
Gary.
G'day, Gary. If you're watching, mate, he's at the Cats at the moment. But yeah, I thought, oh geez, well, what are we going to do? He's such an important cog in our midfield as well, and down back. But it's just like Zach Guthrie just stood up, the intercept defender sort of role. Mark Litzavs really stood out to me as well. I've absolutely outstanding down back. Other than his set shot for goal, everything else he was just simply faultless. We were losing the ruck. We were losing the ruck to Jordan Sweet, but that didn't matter. Like Reece Stanley was taking marks, Shannon Neal was taking marks. It's just, I was saying again, it's a complete performance, and I'm probably going to say this 5 or 10 times, but it just was, Ben. It's just like unbelievable.
It was an absolute complete performance. As you said, Mark, overhead football, tick. Ground ball football, tick. Centre clearances, tick. The 1%ers, tick. The coming up big in the crucial moments. And there was like 500 moments. Well, there always is 500 to 600 moments in a final. And I tell you what, I reckon we came up big in about 95% of them tonight. And that was where, for me, that's where the perfection story lies with this football club today. It was, we missed a couple of shots. Yes, we dropped the odd mark. Yes, we didn't hit a target once or twice. But when we had to make the right decision, when we had to just get that handball just perfectly weighted, otherwise it was going to come back the other way. Those were the moments. And, oh, my God, did we execute those beautifully tonight. Great to see.
And, like, who cares? Like, as long as we win, that's what matters. Percentage doesn't matter in the finals, you know? It's just like, hey, we kicked straight. We could have had a similar scoreline to the 07 grand final, I reckon, you know? Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what, because I obviously caught the train home bend. It was just an absolute pin drop.
I want you to talk to me about those things. So there's a couple of things I want you to tell me about. Tell me what it was like pre-game, the crowd experience, just those little things that for those people that were stuck in Victoria that weren't a part of the Port Adelaide, the Adelaide Oval crowd tonight. Tell me about that, and talk me through the trip home on the train as well. Just I want to get all those little juicy details that we don't get through the TV.
Oh, look, you know, before the game, walking to the ground, walking to the ground and all that. They're like, oh yeah, come on, Power, come on, yeah, come on, we're gonna smash those pussy cats again. We're gonna do it again, and then all of a sudden, not even 3/4 time, mate. I am seeing at half time. I saw one of the stands on the other side some empty seats. Well, mate, what's going on? And then 3/4 time, everyone started to leave, and tell you what, it was just dead silent. You know, I was hanging back at the ground with Lucas and all of that as well. We're going Geelong, you know. I was just giving high fives and all of that, and mate, but yeah,
we could hear it coming through the microphone. On the television coverage, the Geelong chant going up. Yeah, we heard the chant going up, and it was like, oh, that's great. Like, yes, I think it was when Grind was lining up for a goal right in front. You could just hear the crowd just chanting away, and
I was absolutely bonkers. Probably like the loudest Geelong crowd probably heard in an away game or like final in general as well. Heaps of Cats fans in the bay. I was sitting as well. I had a bloke next to me. I think he was from Shepparton. I think he was. Yeah, yep. made the trip. He's heading off tomorrow. It's just absolute dedication, and it was full of blue and white at the end as well. It was just great to see, and I'm really looking forward to watching the replay tomorrow, Ben. Particularly what you mentioned about the crowd noises too. I'm keen with that, mate.
How many do you reckon we had in the end? Were about 5,000 maybe Geelong fans, or out of I think there was 50,000 at the game tonight, a little bit over. You reckon 1 in 10 maybe, or a bit more?
Probably, because obviously, like 50,000. I think probably 1 in 10. But as soon as in the fourth quarter, less teal, black and white, more blue and white, mate. You know, they were just all leaving like sardines, mate. It was crazy, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be absolutely, if Port Adelaide lose next week, who do they lose to against Bulldogs at Hawthorn? I think Hickley's out the door, man. He's out the door.
Too. It's funny, isn't it? Like, you're at top of the world. Everyone's talking about the recovery, the moment where he got booed off the ground earlier in the year, and then the club turned it around and finished the season home and away second on the ladder. He's close to a premiership. All the pre-game talk, all the media and the Channel 7, the wind up before the game, the big sort of amp up before the game is all about, it's Kenny's moment. He's got what it takes to be a premiership coach. Sort of, around about that was kind of roughly how it went. And all of a sudden you lose by in the manner that you did, and you're 4 quarters away from being sacked. and that's the reality of footy. Like, especially go out 2 years in a row in straight sets.
It's brutal.
Hard.
It is brutal, and
brutal.
It's I'd say it's like 5AA local radio station here in South Australia. Absolute fallout at the moment. Lucas knows this as well. He's probably going to call him, but yeah, it's going to be doom and gloom on Monday here. That's for sure. But I couldn't care less. We are Geelong, mate. We're the greatest team of all. Going to another prelim. Oh yeah.
Can you imagine if we sort of hit the ground running in the prelim and I don't want to, I mean, I still go into these prelims thinking it's always a 50-50, but oh my goodness me, I'll get up and about if we hit the front at some stage in that prelim. I don't know. I'll be there. I'll definitely be there. I'm going to have to find a way to get to the game. As I was saying earlier, I don't know how I'm going to do post-game live. I might. It might depend on whether Paul's going and whether he's got availability to do it if he's not going, but I imagine he'd probably want to get there as well. He saved all his brownie points for this time of the year. So he might want to try and get along too. So we'll see. But otherwise, I might have to do post-game live on the day after or something like that, whenever that may be. But
hopefully it's Brisbane in the prelim as well.
Say that again. Sorry, I missed that.
Hopefully it's Brisbane in the prelim as well.
Oh yeah, can you imagine that?
Let's do it again, mate.
Oh,
let's do it again.
Part of me would feel a little bad for him. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to play GWS. I feel like that's as much as people are talking up. Yeah, people are talking them up to beat Sydney, but I still feel like Sydney will win that game, and then GWS have to fight their way into a prelim, and they'll come up against us at the MCG, and it'll be a different story to playing us at Kardinia Park. Yes, it's our home ground,
100%. Yeah,
but
can we play at the MCG?
Tell you what, the game style, the ground suits the Kardinia Park oval suits GWS, but it'll play into Geelong's hands in a prelim. I'm telling you that now, especially after we get, we probably get who are we going to get back? Stewart would be a definite. You would have thought, unless somehow he gets pneumonia or some other random sort of, random disease from his travels. I don't know, whatever. Hopefully Stewart stays out of trouble and he's totally fine. Poor old Cam Guthrie got COVID as well. He was right to play. He got. I was saying he was ready to go. Joel Sell was saying he was ready to go for VFL last week, and then he got some COVID, so he couldn't play. But the bloke has just had the worst luck. So look, there's a potential in 2 weeks' time from now. Tom Hawkins has maybe played a game of VFL, maybe two, if the boys can do the right thing and get the win on the weekend. He might have had 2 games of VFL footy under his belt. We'll see. And then you've got someone like a Cam Guthrie who's probably less likely to come in at this point in time in the year. You've got a Gary Rowan sitting in the wings as well. And you've got, who else am I missing here? There's probably a bunch of other names I'm missing.
Sam De Koning. Sam De Koning. Yeah, Sam De Koning. Yeah. So we've got quite a few coming back. Coming back in. Tom Stewart's definitely definite. But who would you bring out though? Because Mitch Duncan was all right as well.
Got to be Mullen, I think. Yeah.
Bit stiff. Ocean Mullen. He's eating my word. He's eating my words tonight. I thought he was very, very good.
Yeah, he was good. He was
as well.
But he
played
comes
as well on Horn Francis. Yeah. I don't know. That's
Mullen,
that's
Stewart.
Coaches.
Stewart, Mullen. I think we're going Stewart. If it's simple matter of, and they're not going to make 4 or 5 changes. Let's just be honest. That doesn't happen in finals. No. More often than not, it's unchanged. It's only a change this week because of a last-minute illness with Stewart. But he comes in for sure. Who goes out? Don't know. But I think probably Mullen would go out. Is there a second player to come in? That's the question that we'll probably do half our videos on about this week on the Hoops Crew. Does Tom Hawkins come back? Is Cam Guthrie going to play this year and all that? I'm sure there'll be a video or two about Tom Hawkins at some point. And goodness me, I hope he gets through the game on the weekend. I know you won't be able to get to it, but if there's any Cats fans that haven't got enough of the Geelong footy this weekend, and you've got the VFL at home.
Yeah.
And if you've got a bit of time, head up the highway and watch some AFLW on Sunday as well. About 3 o'clock.
100%. Can't wait for that as well. Chantel Mason making her debut. Very exciting. Very exciting.
I didn't see that. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she's
not Bridie though.
She's making her debut. Bridie O'Rourke, not yet. But nah, I'll definitely be watching that over the weekend for sure.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, I'm talking to Cats fans here that are watching on the thing, living in Geelong. If you can get to the footy Saturday morning, I think it starts about 11:30ish at Kidinia Park. So if you can get to the game, might be your last chance to see Tom Hawkins play footy. Possibly. If the VFL team, doesn't play next week or gets another injury or whatever. Anyway, it's your last chance to see one of the greatest of all time at the footy club. Probably a top 10 seems ridiculous, really. But you do forget about a lot of other absolute stars of this Geelong Football Club. Brian Palmer, Gary Ablett Senior, Gary. You could easily name 10. You go, who are you going to squeeze out? But I feel like Tom Hawkins easily is in the top 10 Geelong Cat players of all time.
Absolutely.
So the train trip home, that was all fun as well. Like a lot of misery there from sad and sorry fans.
I was the only Cats fan in there as well. Just all dead quiet. It was just exactly like the Crows round 2. Just absolutely dead quiet.
And did you spot? Because this is always, I'm assuming this always happens at a Port game. There's always one Adelaide Crow fan in their Guernsey in the crowd somewhere.
Yes. No, actually, at the ground at the end, there was I think it was a Crows fan, but he had a Crow scarf, but he was wearing a Geelong Guernsey as well, and he was like, "Oh yeah, anyone but Port." I gave him a high five, I just too bad, bloody brilliant. Yeah,
they can't help it, can they? They hate Port.
They love that. It's like any excuse for the Crows to bag shit out of Port Adelaide,
Does the hate go both ways? Like Crows clearly hate Port, but does Port hate the Crows just as much or even more? Or
a lot. I think it goes. Port hate the Crows a lot more because you have the rivalry back in the Sandford between Port Adelaide and Norwood. So it goes back back into that. Even like Sturt as well. Both Port Adelaide, Norwood, Sturt. Massive rivalry in the Sandford. So I think it's more sort of the Port Adelaide sort of way. But it's massive. But any excuse for Crow supporters to bag Port, but make the bloody finals first, for crying out loud. But anyway, that's another day to talk about, Ben. This is a Geelong show, not a Crows show or Port Power show.
Have you got a couple more minutes? Because I want to ask you about some players, if we can go through a few. Maybe the ones, some names we maybe haven't talked about heaps yet. Mitch Duncan, watching him at the game tonight. What were your thoughts on Mitch Duncan?
I thought he was all right. I don't know who he was on, but he was okay. Didn't really have to do too much. Thought he was a pass mark for me. I had my worries in the lead up to the game, given his form and all of that. But I think he keeps his spot. Yeah,
great. Tanner Bruin, what did you think of his 18 touches and a goal tonight?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Just an absolute workhorse in the middle of the ground, and great. And the thing about Tanner Bruin, I just love to see him hit the scoreboard more, and he certainly did that too. He was awesome. He was awesome today. Love Tanner Bruin's performance.
That was great, wasn't it? A couple more. This one will be an interesting one. He was great at times, but a little bit frustrating at times as well. Jack Bowes. Watching him live, what did you think about his game?
Good. I thought good as well. His pressure was spot on. I think he kicked like a couple of goals. I don't know why people say that he should be the sub or anything. I think him in the midfield, absolutely keep him in there. I think Jackie Bowes was very good tonight. He didn't do anything wrong. I thought from what I saw from the ground.
Couple of times he got. There's probably a 30 seconds where he got caught holding the ball and then gave away a free kick a few seconds later as well. So just a couple of moments there where he sort of lost it, but then he just kicked a couple of goals as well. Opportunistic goals. So he did some great things. Two more names I want to throw at you. And I think this guy had the best game of the year for him. Tom Atkins. He was terrific on the TV from what we could see tonight. He's just in and under. Looked great.
Machine. And it's just like, and what do Geelong need to do to bloody win a holding the ball call as well,
Oh, look, they swallowed the whistle. They always do in the finals, but
my goodness gracious me, hasn't he? Even from the centre clearances as well, he was just an absolute bull. Always gives it more than 100%, week in, week out. No, I thought, absolute boss. Just a tackling machine. Loved the Axon's performance. I think I've said this with quite a few, but bloody fantastic, mate. It's just they had no answer for him. He was unreal.
No, he was unreal. Last one for you, Jake Kolodjasny. I always say Dashney. I don't know why. I can't get that on my head. Kolodjasny. We just say K or Special K when we're watching him. Or collar every now and then. But for me on the TV, rock solid. Didn't make a mistake. Worked really well in tandem with Guthrie and Stewart. Sorry, Henry, I meant to say. Jack Henry. The three of them, impenetrable. Henry taking marks here, there, and everywhere. But so you thought K was pretty good at the ground?
Yeah, no, I thought he's just such a criminally underrated player on the side as well. Just having an absolute brilliant season. Took some really important marks. Just all the Port. I don't know who he was on, but Port forwards just didn't really have much of an impact. Just absolutely reliable down back, and and he was a guy that I was like, should he be in the side a couple of years ago? But gee, hasn't he turned a corner? And I was very, very impressed as well, Ben, with his performance tonight. Him along with Zach Guthrie and Jack Henry as well. Without Sam De Koning and Tom Stewart, exceptionally well, absolutely exceptionally well in the defence. Just the Port forwards had absolutely no answer.
None. Will you go to the footy next weekend? Because you live in Adelaide and Port Adelaide will be playing another home game. Probably, well, not probably. It will be against either Hawthorn or Western Bulldogs. Will you get along? Is there any interest in you getting along to that game, or are you just going to sort of sit that one out and watch it on the telly?
Maybe. I might think about it because I tag along. I tag along with my uncle. Going to Crows games here and there. The odd Port game or two. I might go to that one. Whoever it is. Finals footy and all of that. I'll tell you what. I wish GWS was playing here at Port Adelaide against Port Adelaide next week. Get on the orange wagon just for the night. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah. Tsunami.
Yeah. But no, I think whoever it is, Hawthorn probably not, but the Bulldogs. I wouldn't mind going if it's Bulldogs. I'll probably go. Marcus Bontempelli. He's probably my favourite non-Geelong player. So yeah,
we'll get him at the Cats next year. Now we don't want Bailey Smith to play finals at the moment. So Western Bulldogs, please put him in cotton wool. Do the right thing by the Cats. They won't. They'll do the right thing by them, but there's no way he plays this year. Surely he's not coming in and taking someone's spot with no AFL match fitness at all. So save him for Geelong and keep him cherry ripe for us for next year.
100%.
Mate, I appreciate you. Staying up so late to come on, and we can always rely. There's one time I reckon you haven't come on. I think there's one time you haven't come on this year. You had a prior commitment or something like that, but I'm sure you would have come on regardless of the result tonight. And
100%. I mean, I've got the day off work tomorrow, so I'll be chilling and watching the replay tomorrow. But regardless, I would have been on. Considering it's a final, all that win or lose. But what a journey it's been, and I love being on this show every week. Ben, thanks for having me, mate.
I really appreciate you as always, mate. Enjoy your night. Thanks again.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Take care. All right. Now, I reckon we've got another debutant in Big Scotty. Now, Big Scotty, you got your microphone turned on before I click you on. He's giving me the old tick of approval. Big Scotty, debut on the Hoops Crew post-game live. Welcome.
G'day, Hoops Crew and the Cat Army, first-time caller. What a fantastic win from the Catters tonight, eh?
It was an awesome win, and we love a first-time caller on post-game live. So thank you for hanging on so long. I reckon you might have been in the queue for an hour or probably more, but love it.
I got nothing better to do, bro.
Love it. Look, tell me about your experience of the game tonight. Now, were you there or were you watching on the telly?
No. I was just sitting on the couch watching it with the old man. Just doing a bit of Oppo report because thankfully the first piece has fallen in line for a historic win from 8th for the Blues. We really needed to come up against the Cats in a prelim. So thanks for doing that, fellas. Really appreciate it.
Happy to help. Are you feeling confident about your team's chances on? Saturday night?
I've never been more confident in my life. What are you talking about?
Wow. Okay. Brisbane, no chance. Is that what you're saying?
No, not a chance at all, mate. It's going to be what were you, 84 points? I think we're going to double that.
Double, yeah. You are confident. I love the energy.
Well, I think Jake Danaher personally will probably kick about the same amount behinds you did tonight, and Brizzy will probably double it. To be honest,
we kicked a few. We were a little bit wayward at times tonight. Are you?
Yeah, when you have that many shots on goal, though, like to be fair, when you have that many opportunities, yeah, you're going to miss a few. But hopefully, you guys can tighten up those set shots in the next fortnight.
We'll need to play pretty well. I mean, you've got to up your game in every final you play. Really, you can't have a bad one in a prelim and still expect to make the grand final.
You guys would know that the most, really. Like, was it rough having that lean year out of prelim finals?
Mate, you have no idea how tough it's been for the Geelong Football Club and the fan base over these last 12 months. It's it must have been rough. We've just come out of therapy. Actually, it's been my wallet's been drained. I've spent so much on therapists in the last 12 months. It's hard. It's been tough. I'm telling you now. But thankfully we're through it, and my fellow Cats fans, supporters, and supporters of the Hoops Crew podcast, we're all coming through it together, and we'll be there.
That's great. Well, it's great. It's like, how much a season can be a roller coaster, because I remember after a certain game during the season, you guys were even bringing the rebuild word around, and look at you now. Mind you, that discussing a rebuild after starting 7-0, but there was just one team that just seemed to completely turn the place upside down.
You guys were you 5-0 as well to start the year from memory?
5-0, 5-4. No, we got up to 11-4. Yeah, it was 4-0, and then we lost to Adelaide. But on my personal record, due to a few umpiring decisions, we actually won that game, and we actually finished the season 24-0. That's my personal record, though.
Moral victory, moral 4 points on that.
Plenty of moral victories and honourable losses at the Carlton Football Club, mate.
Is there a chance, and I don't think there is anymore, I'm not sure if the latter, how it's sort of playing out, but is there a chance Geelong plays Carlton? Is it a prelim now, or is it the grand final?
Yeah, 100%. It's a prelim. So when we smash those Dogs on Saturday night, and then we heam Sydney and GWS. Battle-hardened Carlton will go into a rusty and sleepy Geelong Catters in a prelim.
In comes Charlie Curnow. And
yeah, he's going to come in with $1 million ankle, and he's going to kick 3.
You're probably going to lose 6 more players between now and then. The way your season's gone, it's been, you've had the worst run with injuries.
Yeah, bring it.
But the one thing I'll say is Geelong didn't make the finals last year with all the injuries we had. You guys have been absolutely decimated, and you're still front. You still made a final, and not only that, you finished. You're probably one of the team. I don't think many people rate them, but I still rate the Blues. I think if things click,
You're a smart man. This guy has above average IQ.
We try to be nice to all our guests, all our Oppo guests that come on. But tell you what,
right. Thank you very much. I'm being a bit of a smart ass, but I will reciprocate because I believe that you did have a great performance tonight.
What do you think? Just any Geelong players that sort of stood out for you from an opposition fan? I mean, Port Adelaide fans are probably clearly watching their players and miserable about how their team went. But for someone who's a bit of a...
they should be.
They should be. But for you watching it...
Somebody said before it was shades of the 22 grand final, and it was a very apt comparison because the Oppos just didn't show up.
They didn't at all. No. What happened? Who stood out for you from the Catters though tonight? I mean, there was probably about 20 players.
Not quite. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But Jack Henry was the one that stood out to me. Started off a little bit shaky, but really, really fell into the game and found some terrific form. I felt.
You like a good defender, do you?
Yeah. Well, I'm used to looking at some of the best. So,
do you know what? Tom Stewart is dirty on Jacob Wiedering because he took his spot in the All-Australian. No, I don't think he was even in the squad. Pre-game when I heard about Tom Stewart, and I don't know what any of the rhetoric has been in the Geelong cinematic universe, but I heard that and I was like, yeah. So he hasn't really had the best. He hasn't had a Tom Stewart year this year, has he? He hasn't really been the point of difference. No. There's a comment in the chat, and I want to hear what you say about this. Just someone saw a comment on Fox Footy saying, God, I'm sick of the Cats. That makes me... Are you sick of the Geelong Football Club?
Yes, but probably not in ways that the delightful Hoops Crew audience would appreciate. I'll choose my words. But isn't it great to go for a team like Geelong? You'll never be disappointed. You'll lose one of the greatest players that you've ever had in Tom Hawkins and instantly replace him with somebody like Neil, who's been playing for 5 minutes, but looks like he's been there for 5 seasons.
Yep.
Speaking of which, big congrats to Ollie Dempsey for winning Rising Star in his 10th season.
True.
He's 31 years old, but he just managed to slip in.
Yeah, he's close to retirement. I know. Take him when you can. Take the wins. Take those wins.
I heard you guys are looking at Scott Pendlebury to inject some new blood into the side next season.
Well, we're looking for a few more older players. Do you know anyone? Is there? Can we have Sam Doherty looking? Oh, we've always wanted Sam Walsh. Can we have him? He's a former Geelong Falcon. We'll take him if he's not interested.
You could have had a little fella by the name of Alex Trincotta, but you guys thought he wasn't good enough.
Andrew Carazzo was another one that was with our VFL side for a while. He's a player from a few years back now, but Carazzo was pretty
or Lockie Fogarty. He probably would be handy in the hoops. But
Mr. Fogarty, yep, I love him.
Except that unfortunately Jack Martin suicide bombed him in the Hawthorn game. So,
and thank you very much for Zach Tui. We can't thank you enough for him.
All right. Let's not get personal here, right? Honestly, what's an actual insult there is playing him as a sub. Now, I watch a lot of Geelong, but their subs always OD me because I see Gary Rowan in there all the time. Zach Tui, I know Geelong just cannot find a bad player, but do you really feel that your side's that amazing to push out players like that?
Well, what can you do? There's only so many superstars you can fit into the side, mate. I don't know what to say.
What can you say?
It's definitely a load management thing for the most part. Tui's
load management. If only that was in my vocabulary.
I was chatting with one of your fans, Pommy and Oz, who's got his own channel.
Yes.
We love
He's
the blue.
He's a scholar and a gentleman, Pommy.
He's a good bloke. We love the Blue Abroad people and Pommy and his show. But I was saying to him earlier in the year that Geelong's success has been built on how we've managed players. Now we weren't always good at that. Clearly, we sort of made our run. We were really good in regular seasons for a few years, and then just ran out of steam in finals. And it was only that 2022 there we finally realised, hang on, we might want to just sort of keep Selwood and Danger and those types in some cotton wool for a little bit and get them cherry ripe for the end of the year. But it's great when that happens, and it's great when you can bank wins early. Geelong and Carlton clearly are happy with a good start to the season. It's probably set us up for finals, but it's not always easy to do, especially when you've had some losses along the way to manage your players like that. But
yeah, well, all the top sides have had their bipolar arc this year. It's just when they've decided to have it this season, and Geelong kind of picked the right time and got back to their typical form, which it's great to see for Geelong supporters, but it does OD me a bit seeing them up there again. But it is.
Would you rather?
Not a chance. Like, there's a massive asterisk. Remember, we were talking about my personal record. There's a huge asterisk next to 2023 premiership. Congratulations to Brisbane for winning that one. But well, actually, because I was about to compliment Geelong on their recruitment and their list management, because they're probably the best when it comes to recruiting for their style of footy, and having well, you obviously haven't had a rebuild in 80 years, but Collingwood's like the opposite, and those dogs just got lucky last year. What can I say?
Got lucky, but the other team that you're not super fond of, the Bombers. I know a lot of Carlton people don't like the Bombers as well.
Why do we need to bring peasants into the conversation?
Well, it's a 20-year anniversary, so it's appropriate, isn't it? Like
20 years in one day. 20 years in one day.
Do you know what? It's your 30-year anniversary next year. Do you know that, don't you?
30 years since what? 30 years since what?
Since you handed out some brown paper.
Since the Geelong Cats got teamed by the mighty Bluebaggers. But no, well, actually, Essendon and Carlton have won the same amount of flags in 29 years. And it'll be 30 years next year. But it's not going to make it to 30 years because we're coming for number 17 in, 3 weeks.
I don't think it'll be this year, but I do feel like you guys are probably you guys and the Hawks.
Why not?
Being generous here, I think you guys and the Hawks.
Throwing us in the same bucket as the Hawks?
Well, I think I'm not the only one saying that. I think Hawks
just going along with the crowd, are we? Is that what the Hoops crew is about?
No, we don't normally. But no. Did anyone pick Geelong to play finals this year? We did. We had Geelong. we had Geelong finishing 4th. On our pre-season show, no one gave Geelong a chance this year. I had Carlton finishing.
Oh, I gave Geelong a chance.
Thank you very much for that.
And then, when he starts 7-0, it's kind of hard to not finish like that. But
let me ask you, because I'm loving the Geelong Carlton band at the moment. What do you think of? I don't know how old you are, or how far back your memory goes with former Geelong players moving to Carlton. But what did you think about Michael Mansfield back in the day? Remember him? That name, it rings a bell.
Yeah, when he came into the club, he kind of had a bad smell about him, but we gave him a shower. Introduced him to a shower, and things kind of got a bit better after that.
I'll keep looking at the chat thinking, everyone's going to be giving you a hard time, but most people are being pretty good in the chat at the moment. So,
I wish I could read the chat right now, but unfortunately.
normally I like to I love getting Oppo fans on.
I trust the Hoops Crew chat to be very friendly and accommodating because the fan cams I've watched so far have been the most positive, happiest fan cams that I've ever seen because I come from a fan base that's sick in the fucking head. And even when we have a giant win like we did against Geelong early in the year, there's still if Ollie Dempsey was Gurdon, Fantasia, Motlop or Owies, and they missed a set shot directly on front like that, we'd be saying, that's unacceptable. If he does that shit, he should be in the fucking team. Brad Close, 3 behind. What's he doing?
We're just a little bit different at Geelong. We treat our players with respect.
Oh, I don't think you've ever had a bad day in your life down at Geelong.
It's all about the culture. It's all about
it's all about a winning culture, isn't it?
Strive for greatness day in, day out.
Yeah, can't lose even if you tried.
Hey, before I let you go, because I've got one more to come on. Give me your best 3 Geelong players tonight. In all seriousness,
I've got 3 votes. All right,
fire away.
First, we'll have to go to Aaliyah Squared. Second, to Charlie Dixon, and third to Ken Hinkley for selecting those spuds and just fucking handing it to Geelong. And now we have to put up with another potential Geelong yip. So,
all right. Well, I'm assuming that's your 3 worst players on the ground. Ken
they're
Hinkley.
my votes.
I'll take it. We don't do other players in our votes, but I will note that and we'll consider that for the future voting system.
Legit votes. I'll do Dempsey for the hanger. That's 1. Close just because he got real close, and that odd-looking duck from the midfield. What's his name?
The odd duck. What?
Fuck, give me a sec. He sat on the bench for ages. It's skipping me. I forgot his name.
Hannah Broom.
Nah. Fucking. Oh, Holmes. I can't believe I forgot his name.
Looking duck. Oh, he's a cool cat. What are you talking about?
His eyes are too close together.
All right.
But he did a really good impersonation of Paddy Cripps tonight, so I was happy to see it.
He did. Well, Paddy Cripps, 2nd Brownlow medal. How many has he won? 1 already? He's probably going to win.
He got 1 under contentious circumstances.
Yeah, he did. But hopefully it's Bontempelli's year. Yeah, surely. I mean, you might. No. Hear me out. If there's another player that doesn't play for Carlton that you say, oh, I love him, is it Bontempelli, or have you got someone else other than outside of your own team?
Zach Fisher, Paddy Dow, Zach Tui, Liam Stocker.
Newman? Oh, he's playing for you guys now, isn't he? He's from the
he's a consistent best and fairest poller at the Carlton Football Club, Mickey Nunes.
Who's jumped ship from Carlton in recent years that wanted to get out of that?
Zach Fisher, Paddy Dow, Liam Stocker.
Is Bolt still going around, is he? Or is he still tied up on a boat somewhere?
No, he's at Gold Coast. He just hasn't been getting a game. Doesn't deserve it because he's a dog.
Mate, I've loved this chat. I hope you come on again in a couple of weeks if you can find time.
If you get up again, I'll be back.
If we get up, let's hope so.
Because it'll be against us in the prelim. And we're going to bring it to you.
I'm sure you'll be on the Blue Abroad fan cams if that's the case. If we play prelim, but maybe
just too loose for Terry, so
come back in briefly for this one and then jump back into the other one.
I'll be here every week next year, mate. Don't worry.
Say hi to Terry for us. And
we'll do it. See you, mate. Lots of love. Go Blues.
Yeah, you too. See you, mate. All right. Ethan, let's get him on. He's been waiting the longest. I'm sure he's got a lot of interesting things to talk about with the Catters. Here he is. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Good to be back on. Wow.
Bang. Go Cats.
Wow. I think that kind of sums it up. You know, I know you guys know your Simpsons references. You know Louie, Fat Tony's sidekick? He goes, whoa, where did that come from? Whoa. That was the best game we played all year. That is not a knee-jerk reaction, considering the quality of competition, considering the way the midfield played. We played with a level of speed that I hadn't seen before. We were great on clearances. And it seemed like we were just in this read and react mode that I think we've seen at times, like early in the year, where it was constantly like, let them make the first move and then react, and we'd end up getting the clearance. Jordan Sweet had 51 hitouts, and most of those worked to our advantage. It's funny, we talked about like how this team has, benefited when nobody has 30 plus disposals, and that happened again tonight. I think we usually benefit when the opposing ruckman has 50 plus hitouts, because I actually thought.
Is that the KPI? Is that one of those KPIs that we want the opposition ruck to have 50 touches and we don't want a Geelong player to have more than 30?
The 15 hitouts to advantage is very misleading for Sweet. That does not sound right to me. But we were the faster team. We outclassed what I think is one of the best midfields out there. I mean, you look at that team, when you're ranking their midfielders, Ollie Wines might be the fourth best, because I know he didn't do much tonight, but I think Horn Francis has been brilliant, especially second half of the season. The way he's bridged both the midfield and forward role, I think he's been fantastic. And we shut him down. O'Sheen shut him down. Butters under your skin, but he's a terrific player. Rosie, even though he's been quieter, has still been rock solid. And tonight, we just made those guys look like nothing. We were better in every facet, other than a couple of little stretches, latter half of the first quarter, I guess early second quarter. I was a little concerned that they got the last goal going into halftime. I would have loved to get into half up 4 goals instead of 3. But when I saw that Butters was subbed out, it seemed like here's a chance to demoralize them, jump on him, get those first 2 goals. And we didn't just get the first 2. We got every goal of that third quarter. We got all 5 of them. 11 goals to 1 in the second half. That is unreal.
What happened? What happened to Port Adelaide? You've said Butters goes off, but there was so many more issues than that. I mean, they should have been looking their lip when they heard Tom Stewart wasn't playing. They would have been absolutely salivating when they heard that news.
Yeah, and I think you listen to the broadcast, I wasn't watching 7 until basically right before the opening bounce, because with Watch AFL, it gives you the Fox Footy studio, and they're talking about, it's like all Port fans. There's hardly any Geelong fans here. It's going to be impossible. And we just kind of embraced the atmosphere and just kind of shut it down. I'm singing along before the game to Never Tear Us Apart, and then we're the ones making all the noise. And I got to give credit to the Cats fans who did show up. That was a good, bank of them along the goal in front of the hill. And just seeing them get up for the first couple goals, I don't know, that's just really comforted me, maybe more than it should have. But I just loved how we played in every facet. Guys that were concerns for me for a lot of the year have really answered the call. Jack Henry, again, rock solid. Reece Stanley. I mean, I said 5 minutes into the game, he had already played better than his prior outing against Port, where he got subbed off mid-second quarter.
Can I stop you there? Because you said Jack Henry. Now, for those people that don't watch post-game, or have only just come into watching post-game live recently, Ethan's been on this show pretty much from the start of the year, really. Let's be honest. And I know earlier in the year you weren't big on Jack Henry, but you said you're really, really impressed with the way he's turned things around. Can you talk to me a little bit more about what you've seen from him, maybe in the last 12 weeks? Because it's clear that, I don't know what was going wrong with him at the start of the year, but he's a different player now. And tonight was just perfection tonight from him.
He's just not letting guys get leads on him. I think it's that simple. And then he's communicating well. He's crashing packs when he needs to. He's waiting back as the extra man. He's in sync with everybody. And again, the biggest thing is just not letting other guys get leads against him. Because there were so many times earlier in the year where you would see an opposing key forward that, had a good 5-10 meters in front of him. And he just hasn't let that happen. So I was very negative on him early in the year. I give him a ton of credit. You know who I love tonight that other than the couple from, God, I'm blanking on their names because it's been nearly 2 hours of this, but they have the bingo. What are their names again? Remind me.
Rick and Millie.
Yes.
From the Hoops There It Is podcast. Check it out on Spotify and good streaming
platform. The other ones to give Zach Guthrie credit, and I thought he was outstanding. I was surprised that the official stats page said he only had 3 score launches because it felt like a lot more. Just the way he was able to rip the ball out of a crowd and launch counterattacks. I think you could make a case for him being either our best or second best player tonight. I thought he was tremendous.
I'm with you. I will have him, and I'll say this now. He will be in my votes tonight. My best 3 players on the ground for sure. I wasn't sure about it to start with, but he just got better and better and better as the game went on, and I just felt like, I don't know, I could easily name 10, but he'll definitely be in my top 3 for sure.
Yeah, Port did have their share of skill errors. Like I remember a couple times we benefited off of, like a Lockie Jones fumble that turned into a goal and stuff. And I like Lockie Jones, by the way. I think he's like, you want to just find someone to show someone who doesn't know footy, like this is what a football player looks like. It's Lockie Jones. But we got the best of pretty much all of them tonight. I mean, I'm glad that we're not doing a polished turd award for final because it would be really hard to find a player who was a positive contributor for Port. Let's see, who does Champion Data have as their best? It has Boak, who I thought was pretty quiet.
No, I thought Boak was good. I actually thought he was good tonight.
They've got him as the 8th best player. We have the top 7, and in order, Mana number 1, Holmes second, Stengel, Cameron, then Zach Guthrie, then Gryan, then Atkins, and then finally Boak, and then Brune. And I thought Tanner Brune was great, especially in clearances. I had said, like, he's the key to a finals run. As much as, getting a complete showing out of Dangerfield matters, if Tanner Brune over these few weeks can elevate his game to that next level that we've seen out of him in flashes, we're really deadly. And I think we saw that version of him tonight. And I also want to give a lot of credit to Jack Bowes, who, on the stat sheet, shows his efficiency at just a hair over 55%. I don't care. I thought he was awesome. He was my biggest concern. How could he stand up against that midfield? And I thought he was sensational. He took on the challenge because I've thought at times this year, he's kind of been a guy who's, he's fattened up against some of the weaker opponents and struggled against better midfields. And tonight, against one of the best midfields out there, he went right into the challenge, got into every contest, played with more speed than I've ever seen, and just that was the best version of him. So he deserves a ton of credit as well, because I think back to the first meeting with Port, he was pretty quiet, or the GWS loss, or the Carleton loss, or how many other games. And tonight he was really sharp.
Oh,
a lot of guys that rose to the occasion.
Exactly. Yeah, rise to the occasion is exactly right. And there wasn't really many, if any, Geelong player that lowered their colours tonight, that put in a performance that was below their best. And I like to sort of really focus my thinking around that on those fringe type players. And I'm not saying fringe being that you only play 4 games in the year, you're out again. It's more the guys that probably aren't sort of first picked, like Reece Stanley. I thought he was great. He was fantastic. There's no way we drop Reece Stanley next in the prelim. I thought he was terrific.
He got us, looking at the numbers here, 5 clearances.
Yep.
Which, I know there are other ruckmen that are getting better clearance numbers, but for what we're asking out of Reece, he's filled his role very well since we brought him back into the team. And I'm very happy with him.
I get frustrated with Mitch Duncan a little bit, but even I thought he was good tonight. He was better than what I've seen him play this year quite a bit. Well, it's not his best game of the year, but he was terrific.
I loved his involvement in both 50s. He played with a really high motor. He played like he was about 10 years younger tonight.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? It's he's just they've got him nice and fresh for the finals, that's for sure. We haven't really talked on this show. I mean, we've mentioned his name, but we haven't talked about Lawson Humphreys anywhere near enough Can we spend 5 minutes talking about him, please? Because
I
first,
don't take him for granted because he's just so consistent and so smooth. And you know, the kicks down the line are going to be sharp. And I just we already expect it. 5 score involvement seems like just a very ho-hum night for him, which is crazy to think. But he's so polished and so reliable. And that's the beauty of his game. A guy who's played, half a season's worth of games, not even that, to look that composed in every situation is pretty incredible. And
when you think he can't get any better, it's just I don't know how he does it. Well, I think, okay, he's absolute peak Lawson Humphries right now, and then he's like, okay, no, watch this. And who knows, prelim, maybe he'll be best on ground. It's just, he's got it in him. I don't think he's got a ceiling. I don't know what it is, and that excites me so much for the years ahead. Hopefully he stays injury-free and we get to see the best of him. Goodness me, are we spoiled at Geelong? Finding this guy. Thank you, Port Adelaide, for giving us pick 80 or whatever it was.
I don't think he has a ceiling, but he has a very high floor.
Yeah, okay. Yep. That's good. I like that.
He looks like he was born for this, honestly. It just looks like this is exactly what he was put on this planet to do.
Come off the factory floor, ready to go. He doesn't look, I bet you he's sitting there now at the team hotel. Are they catching a flight back tonight? They're probably not in a hurry, but maybe they are. He's probably just sitting back, just chilling, just relaxing, not a care in the world. Mate, you've just played in a final. You're probably in the best 6 or 7 players on the ground for the Cats, and you've played 10 games of AFL footy. And I'm talking to my wife tonight saying we should get the marriage certificate changed to add his name to it. And I am so much in love with this guy. I don't think he was into it. She said, I don't think he's into it. He may not be into that, but the love we have for him is crazy right now.
I love the photo I posted of him a few weeks ago wearing the retro zip up and he had the shades on.
Yeah.
And I want to give O'Sheen credit. I was worried about coming in. He really shut down both Butters and Horne-Francis when he had those assignments. And, I've been pretty consistent about how I feel about O'Sheen. I think his ceiling is still sky high and he's still learning the game. There are moments, and we didn't really see it tonight, which was great, but you'll see moments where, he doesn't realize, I got to get rid of this. There's someone chasing me down. And I was surprised after one of his lousy games earlier this year that he got any more games this year, but to the coaches who decided, you know what, we got to keep him in there. We got to give him more shots. It was the right move. I think it was, I'm looking at his tables right now. It might have been I think it was the Carlton loss. Yeah, where it was just all right, enough of this. Take your time in the twos. We'll see you in a year.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that too. So, same thing. This isn't his year.
And again, still such a believer in his ceiling. I mean, he had this one handball in that Easter Monday win over Hawthorn that I think back to. It was just best disposal of the season by anyone wearing hoops. And it's just as he gets the feel for that, there's going to be more. But tonight, he used his speed and really filled his role. And you were touching on earlier, I think we really saw the benefit of, getting off to a 7-0 start and being able to manage and rest guys. Because you saw the full throttle version of things tonight. And it was pretty fun to watch. As for John's comment, these shirts, this is a Carlton draft shirt. So I'm not sure if they still have these since this was from 2022. But if they do still have them, definitely get them. They've had a couple other Brian shirts. They also had that one that I remember the crew on, I think it was 7 or Fox Footy. I forget who had that game. The Sam Draper, Drake, Nothing Was the Same shirt. Yeah, those guys are good. So look there if you want this shirt.
You use the code Ethan when you call. No.
I
don't think you're getting commission, are you, for that little plug? But yeah.
Wish I had that with how much, the conversion rate, the actual shirts are cheap. The shipping is the real cost.
exactly right. I keep saying Jake coined this one. Jake from the Hoops crew or the Chaps Cats coined the phrase "the cliff is a myth." So I was saying we got to get T-shirts with "the cliff is a myth" because there's no such thing as rebuilding in Geelong. We just go again and again and again.
It's like Mean Girl.
Say that again.
Not exist.
No. Exactly right. Who else haven't we spoken about? So Oisin Mullen, and do you know what we should do? Sorry, Mitch Edwards. I know you haven't played a game of 40 for the Cats yet. Mitch Edwards wears number 11, but can I just say, can you just give that number to Oisin, please? Oisin's 11. Can we give him?
I like that.
I know that's silly, and I know I'm thinking about the non-important things in football, but how good would it be if Mullen wore number 11? Really, let's be honest. That would be great. Well, then number 12 or number 13 would work just as well. I'm assuming, or possibly Ocean's 8, maybe. That wasn't very good, but yeah.
Quick Mark Blitzov's mention, he was rock. Charlie Cameron had a nice view of his backside all night because he was outrun. Or Charlie Dixon had a nice view of his backside all night because Blitz was outrunning him from start to finish.
Yes.
And I like Charlie, by the way. Great character in the sport, iconic key forward. But to knock him around like that, that's a badge of honor because that guy is a force, even at his advanced age. And Blitzovs both did that and got into the midfield. And I thought at times early, we looked a little outsized, and then Blitz gets in there and it's like, what size disadvantage? We're just as big. And I said, he's a guy who had a relatively quiet year. And if he gets into top form, we're really scary. And I think we saw some flashes of that tonight.
Yep.
I figured out after looking at it more, who from Port does deserve some credit. Miles Bergman. He was actually rock solid. More than half of his possessions contested and 11 intercepts. He was very good. So if you wanted to credit one player as Port's best, Bergman.
I liked him. Yeah, I liked him. I liked Boak for the power as well. I thought he was handy. Vaughan Francis was okay, but just couldn't do it all on his own. I think that was probably the problem, that Port expected too much of him, and it was a bit of a shame. I was so pleased, mate, that Aliir didn't really have any impact on this game when the game was to be won.
He killed us the first time around, and he had missed. He had missed the prior game concussed, and it was just like a reminder of what he can do and how much he affects their whole structure. And yeah, he had a couple, but we largely got the better of him. But hey, Bergman, if you ever want to come back home to Victoria, we'd love to have you.
Just wait until he's about 30, and then we'll get him.
I thought there were a lot of scenarios where we could win this game, and, my expectations went down without Stewart, even though we've had some pretty memorable wins without him. I think back to the game a couple years ago against the Dogs where he got concussed and we dropped Gryan into a halfback role.
Yep.
I think that was in 22. That was a very memorable win. But I never would have thought we would have won this game by more than 3 or 4 goals. That just didn't seem possible. And, fourth quarter, again, you can discount the fourth quarter where, it was just like, all right, everyone take care of your hamstrings. We've got a game in 2 weeks. They've got a game next week. But up 55 at 3/4 time. Let's just talk about that. Forget the 88 or the 84. And, I'll joke. I've been joking, 84 is the new 119.
Yep. Hashtag 184.
But 55 at 3/4 time is outstanding. And you consider that we kicked 5-7 in that third quarter. The best thing about this, I think, as bad as our set shot kicking was, it's like, hey, let's, save it for the prelim.
Right.
Let's, there will be regression in other areas. Let's have a good set shot kicking game, and we'll be facing a damn good team coming off a win. I'm very glad we won't be facing either the Dogs or Hawks in our next.
Do you know what? The Hawthorn Geelong Grand Final is live right now. It's a possibility.
Tomorrow. Plus, I think we have Beveridge versus Hinckley in a semifinal. You know, the two coaches that are always catching a lot of heat. I think that'll be pretty funny.
Yeah. So if Hawthorn win, they will play
At Port.
At Port, and if they beat Port,
then they would go to whoever wins Sydney GWS.
So they're playing in Sydney regardless, pretty much, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've got to go through Sydney.
If the Hawks win tomorrow, you'll get also. I don't know how many times they'll show that Darcy Byrne-Jones goal from they had with Port, which one of the best endings to a game I've ever seen.
Oh, wasn't it a great finish?
But forget about that. I just want to enjoy this, especially, we had moments in the second quarter. I was really worried. We give up a goal to McEntee, who's just a thorn in our side, and all sorts of things that could have gone wrong. And then we just go and get the next, 1, 2, I'm looking through my notes, 3, 4 goals, 5 goals.
Yep. Just domination at that point.
And the pregame body language, like that was a Port team to look very confident and ready for the moment. And then we just showed, nope, we're the ones who are meant to be here. This is our game. This is our swamp. And we took care of business. It was very businesslike, but with just the right level of satisfaction and joy. There were times I would have loved for someone to break out, the Steph Curry night, but
it didn't happen because we're not like that at Geelong. We're not Hawthorn. We don't play it that way. We wait for grand final day and we start cracking beer cans, and
which is still one of my favorite moments ever was that celebration. Don't give them bulletin board material.
No, don't do. I mentioned this on another show the other day. Warren Treadgray from Port Adelaide took a bow after kicking a goal in a preliminary final in 2007. And then, when he was 100 points down against the Cats, a couple of Cats fans in the crowd decided to give him a bit of crap, which is fair enough. You put yourself out there, well, that's what happens when you lose. You got to back it up. So it's always better to save that stuff for a grand final.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm showing my age. It's like, let them have a bit of fun. It's just a game.
No,
Show your personality, but still, don't go too bad. Don't go shushing the crowd and things like that. Like maybe I'll Choldard and a few other. I always seem to do it against Geelong. I don't know what it is about Geelong.
See, that's the Hawks. If you're gonna dish it, you better be able to take it.
Yep.
I cannot believe that. We were so sharp in every facet tonight, and I just it's a very hard question. If in 2 weeks' time, if Tom Stewart comes back in, it's who comes out? I think Jed Buse, although, he did some good work against their smalls, and it could be a matchup question. If you have another guy that you need to tag, you stick with O'Sheen. This is a good problem to have.
Can I ask you this? Is there any chance Zach Tui doesn't get picked for a prelim? I'm not saying he shouldn't get picked, but that's probably a name that hasn't been thrown around as a possibility to come out. I think Chris Scott loves him, and
sub role. I think he will be in the sub role for however many more games we have, 1 or 2. I thought, and then game was over at that point, and Port had checked out, and we're just on to preserving their health for next week. When he jumped in there, he looked like he had a really high motor. So I would like to keep him in the sub role, actually. I thought he did a terrific job.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
At his age, it's tough to ask someone with as many miles on him as he has for a full game. You ask him for a quarter, a half, maybe more in the case of injury, but less than a full game, and just let him kind of sit and wait. I think it goes really well. And I think we saw that in, a very low leverage role tonight. But he was flying past guys, so I would keep him in that role. And just the question is, do we have a tagger? And I think that's matchup based. And then, who comes out for Stewart? Like, I was thinking heading into finals, like, as poorly as he had shown, like, there would be a spot for Mark O'Connor. And I mean, look, in a world where we run into the Lions, I would totally consider throwing him back in instead of O'Sheen just because he's so good at bothering Lachie Neale.
Yeah. I can't see O'Connor coming back in at all. But, I mean, I'm not saying he won't, but I think probably not this year. And I just wonder whether he'll even be here next year now after sort of slipping out of our best side. I mean, you know,
I hope
it changes year after year. Jed Hughes was gone. No one had Jed Hughes playing finals this year. I don't know who you. If you said Jed Hughes was playing finals at round 10, you're kidding yourself. And Jed, if you are watching, I'm not having a shot at you. Don't get me wrong, but I think you've had a terrific since you've been back. I've absolutely loved what you've done, and I think a lot of Cats fans would agree with me that it's really great to see him back. And I think he's got a really big game in the next couple of weeks. If it's a prelim or a grand final, I think there's another huge game in Jed Hughes still to come.
Which game? Check his tables real quick. Which game was it? It was his very first game of the year. Yeah, it was the North game where I thought he was just like his sense of when to slow things down and when to really like launch a counterattack was really good. And tonight, he didn't get to do as much of that because that was Zach Guthrie. But yeah, I'm a Hughes believer. I just think right now, if you had to pick someone to take out of the team, it would be him by no fault of his own. Which, again, look, we've got close to 30 guys to consider. I mean, I think at this point, both Tom Hawkins and Cam Guthrie should be thought of as just like, and it's crazy to think of this because they're such fantastic players, but they're just really, insurance policies at this point.
There could be 2 players unavailable on the whole list in 2 weeks' time. If I've done the maths right, I think it's Mitch Edwards and Toby Conway are 2 players that aren't going to be available. And I think Guthrie will. I think Hawkins will. Whoever Stewart clearly will be, you'd think, and whoever else. I don't think there's too many more injury concerns that we have. It's just really who's in the best form, who's the fittest. Going to be some tough decisions.
AFL. I hope they win. I hope a lot of people show up to support Hawk. I will be busy at that time. Otherwise, I would absolutely be tuned in just to see that number 26 out there one more time.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we could say that?
I hope a bunch of people show up on Saturday for him, though.
I'll definitely be there. So yeah, if you're watching this and you keep an eye out for me. I don't know where I'll be sitting. I'll probably try and sit behind the interchange bench or something like that. But come and say hi if you spot me at the game, and probably be there with partner and maybe some kids and things like that.
He had his official send off, but he deserves another like unofficial.
Yeah,
is just like everyone show up to this reserves final just to support him. And I mean, great to support the rest of the club, but like this would be Tom Hawkins' celebration.
If we can get, maybe this is unrealistic, but if we can get 5,000 people to a VFL game, that would be amazing. That would be the atmosphere would be terrific. And a win like tonight is going to put people in a good mood and wanting a little bit more football. What more can you ask for? A semi-final. Tom Hawkins playing. It's a home game. If you haven't got to the VFL this year and you've been meaning to get there, well, what better time? Hopefully the weather's good for us on Saturday. It's going to be a big game for Tommy, and let's hope he kicks 10 goals, mate. Can I ask you, because this is going to be the big one, and there's probably a better time to talk about this, but while we are talking about Tommy Hawkins, I thought maybe it's an opportunity to go there. Has Shannon Neale done enough to retain his spot in the side, regardless of what Tom Hawkins does in the VFL? And that has 2 meanings. He gets through it uninjured, but also, let's say, he kicks 5 goals.
Tonight, Shannon was a little tonight, but I think he was still very solid. He had one game early in the year. I forget. I think it was the game up in, was it the Darwin game or was it the GWS game where he just had no hands? Like he was playing with us. I think his overall body of work, he absolutely belongs in the team.
Yeah.
And I think it would be foolish if we tried to shoehorn him into the same sort of role we give Hawkins, because he's a different player. He's got got ground level ability. I think he's got to be in at this point. I mean, you look at
he spreads the field. Hawkins, if anything, players just gravitate towards Hawkins, and it's like, well, he's not going to get away from me, so I don't need to sag off him too much. I don't have to give him lots of space. Whereas Shannon Neal creates more of a problem, especially in tandem with Jeremy Cameron. It's been and I feel bad saying it. I know there's a lot of Tom Hawkins love out there, and I'm the same. I love Tom Hawkins, and I actually want to see him play, but not at the expense of not at the expense of Shannon Neal and Jeremy Cameron combination. I just don't want to see that broken up right now.
We're now 10-4 with Neal in the team this year.
Yep, and we've lost one game. That was the Bulldogs game. He got omitted for that game. What was the other game? I can't remember it now. But yeah, there's one game with Shannon Neal on the side that he's actually lost. So St Kilda. Sorry.
Yes, that was
one game in like 8 or 9 weeks with Shannon Neal on the side.
Got to stay in.
Sorry, it is what it is. Cam Mooney had to go through it. I sound like a broken record here, and I've probably come across as though you don't like Tom Hawkins, you hate Tom Hawkins. He's a champion of the club, and you've got to back him in. And look, honestly, I think Chris Scott probably will. I think he probably will. If the Cats make the grand final, I feel like it'll be a Stephen King type situation in the ruck. Again, sorry for those younger viewers that maybe don't go as far back as 2007, but Mark Blake was playing really well in the ruck, and Stephen King, a veteran of the Cats, a All-Australian and club champion, and played well in the VFL the week before, 6 days earlier, and got the nod over Mark Blake for the grand final, and Mark Blake was absolutely shattered. I feel that it's still a live possibility for Shannon Neal that Hawkins might take his spot at the very last moment. But I don't agree with it. But I definitely see a world in which that happens.
You know what? At this point, after tonight's lineup decisions worked,
yeah, exactly.
I don't question anything until it doesn't work.
You make a great point. Trust in the coaches, trust in the recruiters, trust in the players. They'll get it done. They'll find a way to get it done. You just have to trust.
And if you wanted votes, Danger 3, Zuthry 2, Bose 1.
Bose 1. Interesting. Beautiful. Mate, I'm going to let you go because I think I've got Lucas on to finish the show off. And hopefully he's got, I don't know how his energy is going to be tonight, if he's going to bring the negative energy or not. You can't. Surely you can't. Lucas, if you're still with us, turn your camera on. Otherwise, I'll do some comments and I'll wrap the show up. But Ethan, thank you very much. Say hi to Grind for us.
Will do. He is currently sitting in the window looking outside. I'm not going to bother him at the moment. I'll bother him a little bit later.
Sorry. Lucas isn't available, but we've got Corey Worthington, who is a well-known party goer from in Victoria, in Melbourne, from a few years back. So, mate, Ethan, thanks again. Really appreciate you hanging on for so long. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. Enjoy the next 3 games of footy over the weekend. It's going to be fun. This time of year is the best year, especially in Victoria. The weather's great in spring over here, and you can just smell footy in the air, and it's a good time to be alive.
And now we can sit back and watch everyone else fight it out.
Exactly. Just belt the living suitcases out of each other, and then that's what we want.
Want every game to go to extra time.
Yes, please. That'll be great. You take care. Go Cats.
You too. Go Cats and go Ravens.
Go Ravens. Go the Green Bay Packers. All right, Corey Worthington. Here he is, also known as Lucas. He got the shirt off. He's got the shirt off. What the hell? It's adult only time, so it is. We are just about to tick over 2.5 hours. And the red wine. Or is it the port? The port. Are you drinking port?
Put the glasses up. Celebrate Geelong's win, and here we go. Oh, thanks for coming.
That's horrible. Is that port? Is that actually port or red wine?
No, I met with lovely Kyri, and I said if Geelong won, because I'm not a drinker. I said if Geelong won, I'll drink. So there you go, and a drink. And boy, what a drink! Yeah, drink was. It was. Oh, geez, my first time in 2 years. 2 years. That was disgusting. Don't recommend it.
You could have sipped it slowly while we were chatting, but you decided to knock it back in one go. Okay.
Oh wow! What an unbelievable night.
Take me
we
through
turned off the
right from the beginning. I want you to slow down and take me through your whole experience from getting to the ground and leaving and all that sort of stuff. Take me on a journey.
Well, the journey is that the power went off. The Geelong Cats came in. They went on to Adelaide Oval and they turned off the power. Never tear us apart. Well, that's what Geelong did. And now Port Adelaide, they're going to bring back the tarps back for the semi-final against either Hawthorn or Bulldogs. No one's going to turn up for that. Ken Inkley's probably going to get sacked in the morning. But Port Adelaide, what an absolute basket case. And I said to you last week, Ben, it was 2 weeks ago, I said to you, which team do you want to play? I said Port Adelaide. I didn't say Sydney. I said Port Adelaide because we know when it's all on the line, they capitulate. And that's what they did.
They know what.
It was just beautiful.
Plus, you got to go watch the Cats because they played in your home state. That's always a bonus as well.
It was unbelievable. Trust me, I didn't look like this. Trust me, this is what after the game.
Oh, you didn't go like that to the game tonight. That's good. I'm not sure.
I made a joke on social media saying that if Geelong won, I would actually go into my shorts, strip into my shorts, and dance on the Don Bradman statue. Now, unfortunately, cue the abuse. I am a soccer player. I can't do that because otherwise I'm going to get the Mark Williams choker out, and that'll be the end of me. I'll get the sack. So I couldn't do that. But it was just a fantastic night. After the game, during the game, the first quarter. Let's start the first quarter. When we missed our set shots, I thought, oh my God, we're all over Port. And you're just blastering simple set shots. But after the quarter time, we completely destroyed him on the inside. The hard ball gets, we completely destroyed them. Dangerfield was unbelievable. Max Holmes was unbelievable. Dempsey, my goodness, Dempsey was unbelievable. Clark was unbelievable back in defence. Humphreys, that was the perfect game. And we're into a prelim, and we're going all the way now. We're going to win the grand final, whether it's Brisbane, Sydney, Hawthorn, Fremantle, Gold Coast, whoever's in there, whoever the hell's in there. Get Tasmania in there. We'll beat them as well. We're going all the way, and we'll go all the way and we'll win. The lid is absolutely off. Just play like that. Just play like that in the prelim. Just play like that in the grand final. Easy win. And like I said, we turned off the power. They brought their tarps out. Their fans left at 3/4 time. They were hitting for the heels. And the tarps are out at the Adelaide Oval right now for their semi-final against the Hawthorn or Bulldogs.
Do you know what you should have done tonight? This is what you should have done. I don't know if you caught any of the European soccer championships or whatever they were, but how they were all like the Italians were getting all hurt when people were smashing spaghetti and things like that. And your friend, you should have rocked up with that rings a bell, does it? Yeah, you should have rocked up with a pear and just gone and just bitten into a big boss pear or something. Just stick it up and then throw it on the ground and stand on it and all that stuff.
I would have thought of that, but the problem is we were outnumbered. We were outnumbered 49,000 to 1,000. Felt like there was only 1,000 Geelong supporters there to 49 bloody Port Adelaide and their teeth. But I did manage. I'll give a little shout out. I did manage to sit next to a lovely Cats lady in front of me. She was very nice. There was also another guy in there. He had the Grant and Myers hair.
What was
He had
cat's
the
lady's
dreadlocks.
name? You remember her name?
Now, yeah, that unfortunately I didn't get the names, but he did say he was subscribed and he'll watch. However, he wasn't a Geelong fan. He was just a Crows fan in disguise as a Geelong fan. And he said he just couldn't wait to Paul get smashed. And I said to him, when Geelong win the grand final, you're going to remove the dreadlocks. You know, you're going to put it online. And he said, well, I think I'm going to keep the dreadlocks, but because I'm a Crows fan. So maybe if they win the grand final, I said, well, geez, you're going to be growing them for a long, long time, mate. But no, that lady here was fantastic, you know, up in front of me. That they were absolutely brilliant. The crowd, to their credit, was well behaved. I didn't really have any incidents. It's hard to have incidents, Ben, when they leave at 3/4 time.
Isn't it, when they leave at 3/4 time? It's just
so
you don't all leave at once. You want to just gradually, you know, after halftime, just gradually just filter out a little bit. You know, go back, get home early, and that way it's, you know, it's nice and calm and managed, and everyone gets home safe. And that's great. That's really considerate of Port fans to do that, I must say. So congrats to them. A little clap there. Well done. But what are we going to do? What are you going to do next week? Because you've gone shirtless. You've gone shirtless tonight. How can we up the ante if the Cats win the prelim in a fortnight's time? What is there anywhere we can take this, or have we gone as far as we can? What's possible from this point on?
Well, I'll return to pre-season cricket. So already they're gonna say you absolute wanker. So I might have to turn it down. But I'll tell you what, if when we win the grand final, the whole thing might come off. So
we'll get a YouTube ban. You know that.
But yeah, we don't want the channel to get in trouble. There's kids watching this, so we won't go there. And I do have a reputation, you know, trying to get into my state team, but so I won't act like a dickhead. Too late. I'm too late. I've already acted like a dickhead. But
no more alcohol for you until grand final day. Now I think let's just put that aside and
and even then I probably won't have after tasting that, probably won't. But and then the pre-game, I did some post-game stuff. I don't know if you've got that already, but I did some post-game stuff with some fans.
But I'll get to it.
A bit like a roaming Lucas. So that was very exciting. Fortunately, no Port Adelaide fan wanted to talk to me, but that's probably fair enough. But we did get some Geelong people on, and they were fantastic as well. They said they'll subscribe to the channel. But this was our complete performance of the year, and just like play it again, Sam. That's all we have to do in the prelim. Play it again, and then play it again in the grand final. And no matter who we're up against, we play like that. We're going to win our flat against all odds, because no one even picked us and to even be in this position. It's just incredible, really. Absolutely incredible.
No one picked us, and no one will pick us in the prelim. No one will. They'll hate the fact that we've won tonight. They hated the fact that we made the finals. They hated the fact that we were in another qualifying final. And they're going to hate the fact that we're in a preliminary final. But suck on that. On that, AFL world. Here we are. You can't get rid of us. You do your best. You give us games away from, you know, saying no home finals at Cardinia Park. Blah blah blah. You know, we're going to put you on Thursday night so no Cats fans can get over to the game.
No. And we embarrassed the AFL. With tonight's performance. My 3-2-1.
Yes, please.
Dempsey. They all play well, didn't they? It's harsh to give out a 1. But I'm going to go a little bit different here. One, the Cats fans. I know there weren't many of them, but they were unbelievable. Like chanting Geelong.
We heard it.
Yeah.
Heard it.
Unbelievable. 2 goes to Chris Scott. Masterclass. unreal performance. And when we lost Tom Stewart, because pre-game I said we'll smash Port by 40 points, and then I heard we lost Tom Stewart, and I thought, what the hell have I just said? So because I said it on Talkback Radio, I said it today. I got the Port Adelaide fans stirred up on Talkback Radio in Adelaide. So I can't wait for the Saturday sports show. My goodness, I'll be up for that. The three, the entire Geelong football club, the players, every one of those players tonight.
Yep.
This is probably the first time where I'm not being negative, Ben. That's a first.
No,
an absolute first.
Did you realise we missed a lot of set shots tonight?
Yeah, I mentioned that. I said to you the first quarter we missed a lot. Well,
you did.
we could have won by 100 points tonight. Oh, geez, that would have been good. It really would have brought back the 2007 vibes. But look, perfect performance. There's no negativities. Everyone gets their wish. I'm going to be positive. And just bring on the prelim final, because we're going that way. We're going up. So, and just for Port Adelaide's sake, we've got the Cats to win, the Cats to lose. Come on, Geelong Cats forever. We are the Cats from Geelong. It's more than a sport. It's the true Geelong history. We'll never stop till we're top. So that's for the Port Adelaide fans for mocking us. Koshi opening his big mouth during the week. Well, Port Adelaide, thank God they're out of the SANFL. You know, we want to play in the National Reserve competition, you know, and sick of all these clubs like Geelong benefiting on draft picks, blah, blah, blah. Should have kept your mouth shut. But unbelievable win, and wow, go you Cats. Oh my God.
We absolutely tore them apart. Even though they said no one would never, ever, ever tear us apart. Well, Port Adelaide, we tore you apart. We absolutely
and it felt good, and I dare Port Adelaide to make the grand final. I dare you. I absolutely dare you.
Come at us.
Yeah.
Come to us again.
So
let's do it again. Let's do this all over again, Port Adelaide fans. We would love it.
This time we'll kick straight and we'll win by 150. We'll put even more pain, and then they'll take 10 years to recover, just like they did before when we belted them by 100 points. And then maybe they'll fold. They'll be only a one-club town. So
give it to Norwood. Give it to Norwood.
Give it to Norwood. But anyway, Ben, I've already made myself look like a dickhead here. But hopefully that stuff I sent you is sent. Yep. Hopefully that gets broadcasted. Don't know how that came out. Hopefully it comes out good. I've looked on the replay. Looked okay. So hopefully that comes out. And thank you for having me on. And I won't do that. Go you Cats. Going to pull up my shirt there. No, go you Cats.
Kid friendly. See you, mate. Oh dear. I think next time you'd sing this or get him to sing the song, we'll have to get him to do the auto tune, because it was pretty horrible. But thanks, Lucas, for sharing some vocal tunes with us tonight. Look, it's 2 hours and 43 minutes. It's a school night. I've got to go to work tomorrow morning, so I'm going to call it there. I did say at the top I was going to try and get through some questions, but sorry guys, we had too many callers. But look, there'll be some other. We'll be doing some other shows through the weekend as well. So please feel free to jump into that, and we'll try to get onto some of the comments. We may even sort of follow up with some of the stuff that people have said tonight as well on these comments too. So we'll see what we can do. It's Thursday night. It's a long time. It's about 15 days at least until we play next. So there's plenty of time to cover all that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for all our guests for coming on tonight. And if you do want to be a guest on the show, we usually post the link in the chat. You just reach out to me on socials during the week if you feel like you want to come on or ask me what it's all about. How does it all work? It's pretty straightforward. You click the link, you turn your camera on, and make sure you got your microphone on. Your microphone. Don't be on mute. And we just have a chat about the footy. And if you're an opposition fan you want to come on too, that's great as well. We'll be very kind. I think we've got a pretty good reputation for being nice to the Oppo fans when they come on as well. Now, I did say, one last little mention. Thank you again to our sponsor, Cyril Cook. There you go. Pull up the little graphic. Cyril Cook, Make sure you get down there and buy your lovely one some flowers and celebrate the win with some flowers, everyone. All right, I'm out. I'm going to play the song. I'm going to play the Up the Catters song as we say farewell. Thank you, everyone, again. Go Catters. Off to a prelim. How good is it? Let's do this thing. Let's cue it up.
Go on. Get out there. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's for all of us.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played.